Ba-bam. Twitch is working. Hello, Twitch. How about YouTube? You're not working. Why is YouTube not working? Hello, everyone. YouTube's not working. Always with YouTube, it is this problem. Right. Good job, I gave myself 9 minutes before we start streaming. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Dear. I need to mute myself. Mute. That's better. Right. Let's try again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dual Universe, a game that I've been playing in alpha and in the closed beta, I guess, if we can call it the closed beta. And it's live today in about 9 minutes. I'm keeping an eye on Discord. What's happening? Okay, servers aren't up yet, which will give me time to try and work out why YouTube you're being a bit of a pain. It says that I'm online with YouTube, so maybe I should... Excuse me? Always teething problems. Always teething problems. I am streaming now. Streaming software. Yes, I'm streaming now. Start sending us your video from your streaming software to go live. I am! I'm using Restream. Okay. I don't understand you, YouTube. You always give me these problems. So let's try and reconnect. YouTube. Tested this all last night. It was working fine. I reconnected YouTube. Why you got to play me like this? So it does say that I'm streaming to YouTube. It's showing a satisfactory thumbnail, even though it's showing a satisfactory thumbnail, even though I changed it to a different one. Right, there we go. We are streaming. We are live. There we go. Okay. Stream is live on... Oh. Why did you say stop it? Stream is live on Twitch and stream is live on YouTube. There we go. Stuff the thumbnails. Can I change it now? Edit video. Yeah, can I change the thumbnail? Thumbnail. No, this video isn't made for kids. It's not letting me change the thumbnail. I'm going to run a stream with a Why can't I change the thumbnail? Why can I not change the thumbnail? Sure, this is fascinating for you to listen to me fumble around with the new settings. What time is it? 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. Oh, there we go. Change thumbnail. Ah, found it. Tiny 3 little buttons. change it to that one. There we go. It's a Star Citizen image, but such is life. And the server's up! The server is up. So, I'll log in 2 seconds when I've just finalised my Ujima flips. Yes, you can see my email address there. So for those of you that don't know, Dual Universe is a sci-fi MMO. And it has elements of Star Citizen, it has elements of EVE Online, it has elements of Satisfactory, it has elements, big synergies, I believe, with Empyrion. So any of you who've played Empyrion will know what that entails. And I'm going to now close all my previews for the stream because we're up and running. So, here we go. I thought I would start today with, ooh, that's a big hole. Where did that come from? I don't remember digging that. So what I've been doing in preparation for day one is, this is my little plot of land on a planet called Sanctuary, which is a PvP free zone. It's protected. So I thought I would, for the next few hours, let you join me in exploring the planet, talking through how you build a factory. So this is the smallest factory that you can own. This is an extra small, and it's built around a core, this core here. So extra small, small, medium and large. To give you an idea of the sense of scale, that's an extra small. I've skipped the small and gone straight to the medium here. That medium, if I go into the build mode, gives me this cube here. So this is all the space I have to build a building, and I need to I need to scale this operation up. So if none of you have played the game before, I think it's probably going to be worthwhile me starting with the basics, talk you through the number of ways you can play this game is immense. So I play just as an industrialist. I am in an organisation which is like a club, I guess, or a guild by any other name, and that organisation is the largest in the game by member count. So we have about 1,200 members in the organisation. That said, that makes us into an enormous target. We are the takedown target. So having my factory here at the outset was probably the most beneficial way to do it. So gaming, let's have a look at around the UI. So this is in my normal mode. We have a fairly standard fare that you can see on the bottom. You have all the tools that I can use. Just move my microphone a bit closer. These are all the tools that I can use. Oh, forgive me. I'm just having a look. Oh, I think our city is built. Anyway, so we have all of these tools like any other MMO. They're not abilities, they are tools. And this is your inventory. Let's forget that for now. This is your inventory. And in your inventory, all of these are tools that you will use at some point during the game. For example, deploy ground element is what I used to place the core, that core here. This is my mining tool. I want to get rid of that. There you go. Don't like having soil in midair. So let's just run through the tools quickly. Smooth voxels I'll leave alone for now. Let's get into the functional elements of the game because that's more about the design and aesthetics and buildings. So we have the harvest tool. This is the most basic form of resource gathering. So there are two ways to gather your resources. One is these rocks which have colours on them. That's silicon, quartz, sorry, which makes silicon. And you can manually harvest them. You get 20 litres. Regardless of the size of the stone, you always get 20 litres. 20 litres. Quartz is in abundance. Now, the beautiful thing about this planet, Sanctuary, is that this hex, you get a hexagonal, you can see this here. These are the boundaries of my zone. Right? Nobody else can come in and touch anything in this zone. They can't mine any of my surface rocks. They can't dig down, I don't think. Should we try? There's nobody in the next zone, so let's have a go. Hello, Peter. How you doing? No, this isn't Satisfactory. I'm very sorry. This was that was a stray thumbnail that got in the way. This is actually a dual universe, which is very similar to Satisfactory in a number of ways. Yeah, no, I can't do anything. I can't mine any of these resources because they're not. So I can't touch this one here. But if I cross over into my zone, I can harvest them. Okay. Ooh, that one's halfway. Who can get it? I can. Screw you, hippie. So these things auto respawn, so you have a limitless supply of ore, but only tier 1 and tier 2. So that means that you are limited to building tier 1, tier 2 items, and I'll go into the industrial side of it and what the sort of tiers of the items are. Basically, you've got basic, uncommon. Let's have a look. Let's go for no. Let's leave that for now. We'll go into it when we look at the factory. So these are. That's not an ore. Let's have a look. This is a quartz. It's a very common ore. You can see it takes that long to harvest. And then if I find an uncommon ore, which is this one here, you'll see how long it takes to harvest now. Oops. Takes a bit longer. So, that's one way of gathering ores. If you're starting out in the game and you're playing solo and you're not in an organisation, you will encounter a tutorial. I'd suggest doing the tutorial. Don't build the speeder that it gives you. And then travel to Sanctuary. You will get a free territory claim unit. Excuse me. This is the territory claim unit here. So you'll have that in your inventory and you place it on the hex that you choose. And now, the adopted practice, this is the planet. These are all the hexes. You can see how many there are on a planet. These red ones are other people near me who have claimed a hex. People tend to go around water. I don't know why, but they do. But the most popular way is to build around a market. These are the markets, and they also have shuttles to other planets. But these are locations where you can sell. At the moment, Peter, there are no mobs or NPCs in the game. I would need to check the roadmap to see whether that will change in the future. We have one person in our organisation who is constantly moaning about the game, like non-stop. Non-stop. Every single thing they say, every minute of every hour that they're on, they're just moaning. And I just think, why are you playing? Just stop playing. If you hate the game so much, stop playing. But they're actually moaning because we've had a week of beta before this launch, this open launch. So the NDA was in place until 10 minutes ago. So we couldn't really talk or stream anything about it. Oh, I have a text message. So we haven't been able to say much about it, but when we had Alpha 3 and then it closed, the servers closed for a few days, about 3 days, and then the beta came out, and there was 7 days for the Alpha backers to play in the beta. So we've had 7 days of playing around. And as with any other MMO, still moaning. Oh, she's a moaner. As with any other MMO, you have to have a means to get cash into the economy and to take cash out. So the way that they put cash into the economy was to have bots on the market buying things. So it's mostly ores. So let's have a look at ore. A campfire. There you go. So this is a resource that you can harvest, and these buy orders were bots. So these were bots that would buy, not players, but bots. They would just basically buy the ore off you and give you some money. And it became abundantly clear that there was a massive exploit where people would build ships that took them a very long distance away. Oh, I have a message from a guildmate. Where are you at with the redeployment of your factory? This is a guy who wants me to just do a load of free work for him. I've already done a ton of free work, so the exploit was that you could build a ship that would haul large amounts of ore, fly to a fairly distant planet, take a group of people with you, mine all of the ore, load up the ship, use a teleporter so you could teleport with all the ore that you've harvested. So if you took 5 players and 5 players filled their backpacks and they filled the ship would fly back and they'd sell all of that ore to bots, and it was incredibly rare ore, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 ore, and the bots were buying that at very, very high prices. So there were players who made an awful lot of money in the sort of 50 in excess of 50 million. I think they said there was nearly 960 million between the top 36 players in terms of revenue that they held. Anyway, that's by the by. So this person was exploiting that, and they became incredibly pissed off when that option to exploit the game and make loads of money very quickly was removed, which they removed a couple of days ago. So since then, they've just been moaning non-stop because they clearly don't want to invest effort. So now apparently you can't do this. All the things that I'm doing in game, this person is going around saying you can't do this, you can't do that. I even went and gave them 1,000 kiloliters of fuel that I'm crafting. I should have some in here. Yeah, there you go. I'm making. That's not much. I've got some on the market for sale. There you go. So that's 4,650 kiloliters of oil. Anyway, I digress. So we had mining. So you have the surface mining, which is these small rocks, and on the sanctuary, which is where I would advise most players to go if they're not in an organisation, tier 1 and tier 2 ores on the surface. Then, and here's where it gets a little bit more complicated, because this is now where you get into the talents and the skill sets for mining. Everyone will need to do a certain amount of mining, and it's inevitable. This is a game which revolves around industry and commerce and a player-based economy. What you can do if you have a container, I'll go into crafting containers later on, but if you have a container, you can right-click on it and you'll get an option to declare as a linked container. I have this one as a linked container here. It must have reset. So that's my linked container. That's where I put all of my ore. That stays in there as well. I'm not going to say why. So I can, when I'm out gathering ore, for example, I can, these little bits here, what I can do is select on my inventory and I can say, set linked container as the default. So then I move all of this to the linked container and I harvest. This is the bits that I've just harvested while I was talking. So if I use this, I can harvest, and that, if I look in my inventory, it's not there. It's actually gone to that linked container, which is desperately low. So I will need to do some ore gathering. Now, so that's one way of mining on Sanctuary, which is really good. It's a replenishing supply, so you can just keep running around. Every time you get rid of a bunch of rocks, they'll respawn. So you have a fairly plentiful supply, but you can't gather in volume. So next up are the two tools which you really need to use for effective location of resources underground. And this has only been introduced on Sanctuary, this planet that I'm on, in the last 24 hours. But effectively, you use the tool which is the third along there, which is the scanner. And you use the scanner to get into the general vicinity of an ore vein, which will be underground, in this case, probably underwater. Then what you do is you use the scanner, and the scanner will fine-tune. So you'll get on the bottom bar where it says heavy and light, you'll get a little waveform that shows you when you point it in the direction. So anyway, seeing as I have not, very consciously, I have not mined anything since last night on here, I thought I would go and show everyone how to mine. So first things first, let's have a look at the skills that you will need to be able to effectively mine. This is the skill tree. These are the top level skills that you can choose. This is the queue. So this is what I have currently. I'm training in. And you can see that static core 4, this is for building a large factory. Not sure if I need that. And then everything after that is for production. So I'm focused very much on not so much mining. I'd rather in the long term not be doing my own mining, because my basic logic is that I need to find a mechanism that will make me money while I'm asleep and offline. So if I have to be online to make money, then it's dead time when I'm offline. But I've just realised I've got points to spend. Your points accumulate, your talent points accumulate. So if you have things in your training queue, it's 90 per minute. I think if you don't have anything in your training queue, your points accrue at 60 per minute. But somebody told me the other day it was 6. So double check that. But effectively, if you don't have something in your queue, you have fewer points. So what I can do now, there's 3 hours 46 minutes left on this, and this is something I'm queuing. What I can do is invest points. Now somehow I've managed to get 10,000 points here. So if I invest points, 10,320. If I can confirm that, see, that's reduced the time to train, and then another 10. It takes a few seconds off. So that's a way to accelerate. You earn these points both by doing things in the game, getting achievements. So back to mining. You click on that home button there. That will take you back to the top level for your skills. Mining and inventory is probably the second set of skills that you want to choose when you start the game. The first skills you want to choose when you are in the game are in, where are they? Are they in here? In there. Have they gone? Conditioning, effectively, is the speed at which you can run. I can't remember. I don't know where they are. Have they moved? Avatar, there you go. So these are skills that will make you 5% plus 5% walking speed, cardio plus 10% run speed, jetpack speed plus 10% ground jetpack, etc., etc. Jump duration plus 20%, double jump duration. I've not picked that. So my advice would be that the first skills you take when you're playing this game is to put a couple of points in conditioning, a couple of points in cardio. I could do that now, actually. I can queue those. I don't know how long they'll take, not long. So what you can also do if you want to jump the queue for these things is you can grab them and drag them to the top of the queue. So I can actually get that train sooner rather than later. You can see that's quite a big queue. And you can see at the bottom right there that my skills will take... okay, it's not going to let me put it there. 6 days. 6 days and 15 hours. Yeah, it's not going to let me put it there for some reason. It must be a prerequisite. Anyway, that's probably why I haven't done it. So, once you've taken your conditioning, and that will take you probably less than an hour to get these, I would say conditioning. I don't know why I didn't take cardio. Prerequisites. Conditioning 3, right, okay, that's why. So you can see the conditioning 3 is a prerequisite. I can put that in. I spend a lot of time running around. So if I put that in now and drag that to the top, it will now let me. I have to wiggle this. I've not quite worked out a way to smoothly scroll. If I now, come on. If I wiggle this to the point, I can drop that in here. I've got conditioning in. That then means that I should be able to then drag these two as well. It won't let me do that. You have to drag them one at a time, I think. So you just have to check the prerequisites. So if I put cardio 3 in, conditioning 3, sorry, I can get cardio 1 and 2. I don't know why I haven't done that before. So to get yourself mobile and running around as fast as possible, it's probably less than an hour's worth of training time to get that basic conditioning and athletics. And that will then mean that you're moving around a lot faster. You get a lot of speed from jumping, and you can double jump and get to greater heights and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So this run speed, you can see, is double jump, double jump, double jump. So you get to move around a lot faster. I do have a little car there. It's supposed to be a space car, but ship design isn't my forte, and at the moment I can't get that into space, so it's just used for atmospheric travel. Something else I will go into at a later date. So we've had the surface mining, and we were looking at the scanner. So let's go. I'm going to talk through the process of how to find veins of ore. So you equip your scanner, and basically it sends a pulse when you move. So if I run around now, it'll keep sending a pulse. And what you can see in the graph in the middle bottom of the screen is there's arrow lines and little dots. Basically, if those dots are on that line on the right with the numbers on 200, 100, 200, 300, 400, then meters, that's the distance away I am from those ores. And it's probably typically my luck that I'm going to the nearest ore vein it's about here. Okay, so that's the closest. Right, I need to move back a bit. I don't really want to dig a hole here, but the purposes of you guys, I will. So that is about as close as we can get to that ore vein. A bit closer. So you see that's going back up. I'm moving further away from it. So I move back to that spot. And there you go. Now if I could try run up here, it'll probably go further away. A little bit closer. And I'm moving away again. So we're looking at an ore vein, which is the closest we can get is about here. Okay. So the line's flat. That grey line is flat. Now, little tips. In using the scanner, it picks up as default every single ore. So at the moment, it's looking for every single ore there is. So quick tip is if you press tab, that brings up your option to access these menus here. And it also brings up the option for you to click on the scanner screen, which brings up this. Okay, so what you can do on this planet, I know there's no tier 5, there's no tier 4, and I don't think there's any tier 3. So tier 2, let's take those out for now, because I don't know if we'll... Tier 2 tends to be much further down, so around 500 meters down. I'll have a look at that. So at the moment we have, these are all tier 1, as we can see, because they're highlighted. Click them on and off. So which was the nearest to us? It wasn't that, it wasn't that. It's coal, which is handy because I need a lot of coal at the moment. So we're done with that. Press tab, we're back to scanning. Now we go down. So this is where you invest points in mining. So we'll go back to, keep pressing the run button. We will go back to looking at your mining and inventory here, and we're looking at miner. So mining range is basically how far away you can point to mine. Now that's really, really useful when you get underground and you find a big ore vein, because you can get stuck and it takes a while to dig yourself out if you don't think your way around mining ore, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. So I always invest some points in a scanner upgrade. I've got nearly to tier 5 there, so that means that I've got a bigger range, plus 40 meters, plus 40 meters in total. It must be 10 meters per tab. And then also detector upgrades, 5 meters. That's actually quite important. I think I'm going to put... no, I'll leave that for now. I'll put it at the end of the queue. I don't at the moment do a lot of mining. That might change. And then I have some points in advanced mining, which is plus 5% max mining sphere size. So that's how much ore you can get in one go. And that's where if I press Control and scroll my mouse wheel, you can say I can dig a big hole or a small hole. And that's effectively what happens when you mine. So I can't get any closer on that graph. I can't get any closer than here. That's the closest I can get to this ore vein, which means if we consider that I think this is me here, it's just over 110 meters away from me. I'd say 125, maybe just under 125. So what that means is we go down. So we dig, diggy dig dig. And for that I use the scanner tool to dig because it will keep scanning as I'm digging. And away we go. And this is where it becomes a little bit time consuming and where a lot of people get very confused. But if you've played Empyrion, this will be a very familiar mechanic to you. And you just dig. Diggy dig 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 dig. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. If you have a really, really big mining sphere, then it can be problematic when you come back out. The other thing I would advise is just to press L. That brings on a light, but it also brings on this here, which tells you how many degrees you're pointed. So if you point straight down, it's 75. You can't go any further than 75. I know most people normally go in around 58 degrees, and that means that it's reasonable enough that you can just walk out of it. And you will see that on the scanner now, if I just do another rush forward, we've had another blip. You can now see that's gone from 125 to 100 meters. So we keep going. We keep going along that trajectory. 58 degrees, right? And we just keep going until that grey dot for all that coal is pretty much on top of us. And you can see this is my mining range now, giving me the ability to okay, we're digging down, diggy 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 dig, we're getting there. Diggy dig 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 dig. You still with us, Peter? Diggy 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 dig dig dig. Right, so if I back up a bit, there's only a weird glitch if you find that your scanner's not working when you're underground. Back up a bit and then rush forward. And it'll ping like that. So we've hit a flat line now. The flat line here. We're about, I don't know, 70, 65, 70 meters away. And we've got this flat line, which means going deeper won't get us any closer to it. So this is where we, most people will start to look at this and go, right, I need to do a north, south, east, west. So if I head east, for example, let's turn the light out. And I dig a little bit this way, and then I run forward and wait for the scanner to ping, and it will show me whether I'm getting closer or further away. Now, here I can open this fully, so big caverns. So you basically work on a tunnel system, north, south, east and west. So if I now run forward, and do I ping closer, or I'm getting closer. Right, now here's an extra consideration. This is the edge of my hex. If I cross that line to get this ore vein, I can't touch it, I don't think. So this wouldn't happen on any other planet, only on Sanctuary. You don't need to have that consideration. Sanctuary is just because it's PvP free zone, and your ore and your land is yours. So let's have a look. If I run forward again, there you go. So you just saw the wall there. I'm not getting closer to the ore. So what we do is we go back this way. I got a little bit closer. Where's the tunnel out? Right, there's the tunnel out. So now that was facing east. So now we faced south. And we do again. And it's just a process of trial and error. My watch is telling me somebody's made a message. Oh, it's a different game. So now we're headed south. If you want to auto run, Control Z is the way to do it, like this. And you run fast. Now that's going further away. You can see here we've actually gone further away. So it's not south. Go back. And let's try west. West is best. I live in the West. So there is PvP in the game. Yes, there is. Is that something that you want or don't? It is a massive PvP game. Most of the areas that you will be in the game are full PvP zones. So it's, if you imagine, it's like nullsec in Eve, for example, where you're fair game to anyone who's flying past. They can just randomly choose to attack you. Right, going further away again. So it's a great game if you like games like Eve and Satisfactory and whatever. So we're now at the point where we've done north, south, east, and we did east, west, and south. So now we're headed north. Eventually, through this trial and error, we'll get closer to the vein. And then once we've got as close as we can... Right, now we're getting closer. So you can see that dot's getting closer to us. So going north was the right idea. We're going closer again. Okay, so now we keep going until we can't get any closer this way. Lenot Giacotto. Yes, there is PvP, and that PvP is mostly organisational and space-based. The beauty is that if you get into the right organisation with the right research and development team, they will build the ships for you. Everything in this game revolves around... Right. Stay there, Leonard. Stay there. Don't go. Let me show you. You will love this game. If you like Satisfactory and Space Engineers, you're going to love this game. I promise you. Let me show you why. I will go back out. I'll show you the factories. I'm going to take a quick digression from mining to show you. It's very much like... yeah, you can be a shipbuilder. I'll show you my factory. This is the tiny factory, right? So I'm building... This floor you see here is the start of the foundations for my new factory. And this is the size of a factory, this cube here. So I'm just flattening the ground and putting the floor down and whatnot. This is my small factory. So if I'll give you a very quick tour of the small factory because it'll give you an idea. So when you mine... so I've got a linked container here. So it's like Empyrion, where you can mine and have it transferred to a container. So anything that I mine at the moment, that link there, set linked container is the default. I can mine things and they'll get dropped into there. So this is the factory. This mesh is the limitations. Nothing can go outside of that, and that's the smallest factory you can have. So I'll talk you through it very, very quickly. I mine stuff and it comes into this container here on the right. This is the ore. This is the raw stuff. Okay. Quartz, malachite makes copper, coal makes carbon, and so on. Okay. Now you have something called a link tool when you're building a factory, and that's effectively how you sorry, somebody's just talking to me in Discord. Your linking tool will dictate the process for the factory. So you will see here, for example, you can't see it too well because it's hidden. That purple line there, if I mouse over that, it will tell you that it's taking from container S11 and it's putting it into the refiner M23. Okay, so this, I believe, is refiner M23. Yes, refiner M23. Now that is outputting to this container. Sorry, no, it's outputting to that one. Yeah, M23. So that's outputting to there. What this does is create the ingots. So it actually refines it down into, it smelts it down, if you like, into the bars. So I can go into my factory here, and so this red box here is telling me that there's no input ingredients. So whatever I was making, it was wood. There's no input ingredients, and that uses carbon and oxygen. So I'll have a quick look. Needs more oxygen. If I've got some oxygen somewhere. Here you go. if I just put oxygen in there, you will see that this now is running. So this is now started, this bar here, it's starting to produce wood. Now that wood's actually going into something else. But to make the bars, let's have a look at this one, for example. Let's find, we've got hematite, which makes iron. Mica, that's the coal makes carbon. So you use quite a lot of carbon. So let's make some carbon. So you go into here, you go into recipes, and you drill down. You can search by key by word, but you can go into basic pure material, pure carbon. Okay, and let me just finish and stop that. So I have this carbon here. I select on the recipe. It needs coal, and I just click apply. And the byproducts are carbon, and then the product is pure carbon, and then you get oxygen and hydrogen as byproducts. So hey, Dual Universe Empire! Welcome, fellow org members. And just doing a whistle-stop tour of some industry. So you apply that, and that will then... So this gives you the option to run the refiner. Now what you can do is, because you've got linked containers, it shows you here, there are 2 containers that are linked, and it shows you how full they are. You can then check if you have enough resources in those containers. Now this is the very, very first stage of the industrial process. This is the easy bit. It gets a lot more complicated the further on you get. We have coal. We have 114 litres, and it's 65 per batch. So we're only going to get 1 batch out of this, but we'll run it anyway. So what you can do is the number of options. Run is basically keep going until you run out of the resources to make it. 2 is you can tell it how many you want to make. In this case, 1. And then 3 is maintain. And what maintain does is looks at the output container and will say, we want you to maintain 25 of these outputs into this container. I'm going to turn my mic down a bit. It looks loud. There we go. So you can maintain 25 of these units in the output container. So it looks at the output container and it can maintain that. So for now, I'm just going to select run and start, and that'll start running. It'll make 1 47 litre carbon and these byproducts. But here's where it gets interesting. So we go back to the link tool. So now we can see that that's going to output to, I think it was that one, wasn't it? You think? This place is in a bit of a mess at the moment because I'm in the middle of building the new factories. So let's refine at M12. Where does refiner M12 output to? Refiner M12. So that outputs to here. Now, that inputs to the smelter. And the smelter is what takes those raw bars, so carbon, steel, carbon, aluminiums, silicon, etc. Takes those raw materials and turns them into a base product. So we go in here, for example, I was making silicon, which is an alloy of aluminium and silicon. So that then output, and this is, I'm going to talk you through this very quickly now, so I'll get back to the mining bit, but that will then output those raw ingredients to this here, and that can produce, it produces all these different things, not the screws. The screws come from somewhere else, but I've got a flow back from another part of the process. Anyway, you get the idea. This then makes the resources, these, so steel, for example, and this then feeds the metal workers here and the electronics factories there. We have a 3D printer here. This is a very simple factory, and then what happens is all of these things make the subcomponents and the small products that then go into the assembly line, and the assembly lines come in a variety of sizes. I have extra small, small and medium. Okay, and these are the things that take all of those components from that automated production line and manufacture the final item. So for example here, refiner M, did I make one? Have I made one of those already? No, and I need one, so that's good. So you can see that if I look in the containers, now I've linked three containers to this, and a basic pipe comes from the metal worker, the power systems comes from the electronics factories. But the interesting thing there is the power system uses subcomponents from the electronics factory, so you have to then you have to then take the subcomponents and in your process loop that back into another electronics factory, so via a container. And then the frames come from the metalworker. So I'm actually going to make one of those because I need another refiner. Somebody's mentioning me in Discord. Who's mentioned me? Who's mentioned me? Why are you mentioning me? I thought you mentioned me. Ah, thank you very much. I'm delighted, and great to see that we actually have an Empire channel as well on YouTube. It's fabulous. This is streaming to just so you know, if you're the Emperor, this is streaming to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time. I couldn't get it to go to Facebook at the same time. So I'm glad you like it, Leonard. I'm glad you like that. Is a very simple factory. So you got all kinds of different things. This is a chemical industry unit. This makes fuel, amongst other sort of polycarbonates, which feed into the so polycalcite you use a lot of in the electronics factories. And yeah, so this is the smallest factory you can make. I could probably squeeze more things on there down here, but you can see already from a simple factory the linkages that you've got. All these pink lines, they are all these lines here. These are the linkages between the containers and the factories. So I don't know. Why have I got that feeding back up there? That's going into the refiner. Why is that going into... Don't know. Anyway. Still moaning. Still moaning. Right, back down the hole. So hopefully, Leonard, I really... oh, the Emperor. That's... Just so you know, guys, whoever's watching, the Emperor is my big boss. He's my big boss. So all hail the Emperor. Leonard, that kind of gives you a flavour for it. If you liked the automated processes in Empyrion and you liked the mining mechanism, which I'll go on to talk about now, then you will really love... I promise you will absolutely love Dual Universe. I played in the alpha for 3 days and I played in the beta for a week. And all I have done is I did the tutorial. I made a speeder. I did some mining for the organisation, and then I set up my factory and I made some components for the organisation. But all I've done is play in this factory. That's all I've done. It's taken me a week just to get that. And already I've sketched out on a notepad, and I might actually put it into PowerPoint. I've sketched out the factory that I want to build next, which is a little bit more ambitious. I have it next to me here. It requires 3 refiners, which is why you saw me making that next one, into a hub. And a hub is a collection that you can combine containers as outputs, or inputs for that matter. They then feed 1, 2, 3 smelters, 2 for metal and 2 for electronics, feeding the electronics process. And then coming out of that hub also, I have 1 glass and 1 chem industry for now. And then the glass, the chem, and the 3 smelters feed another hub, which then feeds 1, 2, 3, 4 electronic industrial units. 2 of those electronic factories feed into a container, which then in turn feed into the 3 other electronics factories, which then in turn feed into another electronics factory via a hub. And then one of the other 2, the other 2 electronics factories, which feed into the 2 electronics factories, which feed into the 1 electronics factories, they also feed a 3D printer for now. And that's where I've got to. Back to mining. That was a nice digression because that's the bit I love talking about. So where were we? So we're back to mining, and we were going north, I believe. North it was, yeah. So continuing to use the scanner, getting closer and closer and closer to this ore. We're thereabouts, maybe. Right, so we're finding that we're getting further away. So there. Now, I don't think we're going to get much closer than this. So this is where you stop using the scanner and you go to the detector. And this is when you don't have your skills set high enough. Leonard, when you install the game and you join, ping me a message either on my YouTube channel, and let's get you into the Empire. We need good members. We need industrial people. So feel free to. We're on Discord. Ping me a message on Discord. I'll put server details in the stream. In fact, let me get my Discord. I'm not sure I have permissions to. I'm not sure if I have permissions to share our server. Where do I create an invite? I can never. Ah, there we go. Create invite. So if you ping me a message, that's my Discord server. You should be able to join that. And then on Discord, what's my username? But yeah, we're the biggest org in the game. 1,200 members, probably more now. We're just building our city. Let me just get my. I mean, I am Wasmatic in the game as well, but what's my Discord? Is it 2318? Let me see if that works. Oh, there you go. That's me. Feel free to ping me a message on Discord. Come join us in the Empire. And right, so we're now at the detector stage. So this is where it gets frustrating for new players, because if you go in and you don't have any skills using the detector, you will find... Oh, my sock's coming off! What you will find is your detector... There's like a dead zone between the distance that the scanner operates at. Problems with my sock. There's a dead zone between the distance that the scanner can operate at and the distance that the detector can operate at. So your scanner might work, I don't know, say to a point like 50 meters, but then your detector can only work to 20 meters. And so basically what you do with the detector is once you've got to this point on your scanner, where you're about as close as you're going to get without fiddling around, switch to the detector, get some points in, and then just look around a bit. And we're looking, and if this doesn't work, which it doesn't look like it's going to, let's turn it up a bit, because sometimes I use the noise to detect it. Hey, Karamphil? Great name. It's such a good game, honestly. You will love it if you like games like Eve, Star Citizen, Empyrion, Space Engineers, games like that. You're going to love this. So, detector. Your detector can dig as well, so you can use your detector to fine-tune finding things. So I tend to... Actually, what I'll normally do is go back to the scanner here and dig some more tunnels. Alex! Okay. But I like a challenge. Okay, so that's taking me further away. So again, you go back and then do another side tunnel. And I tend to just tweak around with the scanner to get myself located. Same principle. Just keep moving north, south, east and west. Right, now I'm closer. So now I'll pull the detector out and have another wiggle around. Come on, give me that cheddar. There we go. Right, you can see. Right, so you can see the waveform now. Can I show you that? Here. That means that I am looking at a vein of ore, and we know from the scanner that it's coal. Right, so somewhere in that direction is a coal vein, which I desperately need. So dig, and we just keep going like this, and just keep right so that you can see that the scanner's gone off now. So need to dig up, and this is just basically a process of trial and error, making sure that you can get to fine-tune your direction, and then you'll find the ore vein, and then we'll talk about mining, because a lot of the time you'll be mining off planet and you'll need to try and find someone to transport for you, or find mechanic by which you can, have your own hauler. Or I don't plan on doing a lot of mining long term, but early days, it's all good. Right, so you see we've lost again now. Is it up? Nope. Is it down? How have I lost that? There we go. It's to the right. And you'll know when you see it. You can't miss. You cannot miss the... Oh, there we go. Right. There's the coal. So let's just dig around this a bit. And I tend to clear out a big gap so I know what sort of size I'm dealing with. This is quite good. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. This looks like it could be quite a big score, baby. So, I'm delighted that Lennart is now going away to install Dual Universe. That's such good news. We have one already. Oh, hang on. Somebody's pinging me. Okay, Alaric, I've got that. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying my stream, and I will use that. I'll use that to send invites to people. That's great. Thank you. Oh. I'm just replying to somebody in org chat. Okay, so now we have the cheddar. So this is now you drop the scanner and then you go to the tool number 2. For me, it's it's this here, which is the mining tool, and this is where sorry. Okay, right. So, sorry, back to the mining tool. So you get the mining tool. Now, the mining tool works slightly differently in that you can get a dead zone. You can... No, it's still working. You basically point it at the ore that you want to mine. Let's turn the light on. And you press and hold the left mouse button. And it just keeps getting bigger and 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 bigger like that. And then boom, it'll take chunks. Now, what I'm going to try and do here, I'm going to link. So I've got 2 options for those of you that weren't watching before. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I think the website's down because they've been hit with a lot of traffic. This only went live 49 minutes ago. And a lot of us have been waiting for the NDA to lift so we can get some of this great content out to you. So, be patient. It's worth it. It really is worth it. It's such a good game. I mean, it's Empyrion and Space Engineers. All if you love the industrial stuff, man, you're going to lose your life in this game. So, nanopack is your inventory. Linked container is the container back in my factory, which is at 9% capacity. So I need to use that. I'm going to fill it full of this coal, and I'm hoping that I'm still within range because there is a limit. I'm just going to mine. I'm just going to keep mining and keep filling that container as best I can. And this is actually quite good for me. But what I might do, I don't know if you can get tier 2 ores. I might go and have a look for some tier 2. I think that the tier 2 you have to go down to like 500 meters. I've never mined yet tier 2 in this game. The mining tool you don't have to use, just like you can use the mining tool to make holes as well. The thing I find that I have to be very careful of is not losing my exit. So I tend to try and make that big enough that I can see it and easy enough to access. So if I'm stood on a ledge, for example, like this, I try and mine without jumping down. Although sometimes I actually mine the platform that I'm stood on. So, here we go. Okay, that's in the way. So I'm actually mining at quite a range now. And this is why it's beneficial when you do this. Keep pressing the wrong button. When you have these skills, the mining range is quite important to give you that range on the mining tool, so you can stand at a distance and pull all the lovely cheddar out. And this is actually the carbon is going to feed into the refiner, and it's going to make wood for me. So what I need to do is make carbon. So I use the coal to make carbon, and then I feed that carbon back into another refiner in a bit of a loop, and that will then make me wood, and then the wood will go into a honeycomb industry, and that will produce the building blocks for the new factory. And you can choose, so I can actually show you on here. So I'm using, so it's the honeycomb materials you have here. I'm using aged brown pattern wood 4. Don't let these colours fool you. It's actually a lot darker than you would imagine. So this is the byproduct, wood, which is made from carbon and oxygen. And then use that wood to make this. 10 meters cubed per 100 litres of wood. It's actually quite an onerous demand. But wood's a fairly cheap and abundant resource because coal is everywhere. And I've actually done most of my factory through hand gathering. I've not done any mining. The only mining I've done is for the org. So, let's have a go here. All I'm doing at the moment is just digging around a channel so I can make sure I can get to the other coal underneath me and still get out. Now this is I'm going to risk pulling out. Yeah, I'm going to pull my platform away. I might have to dig my way out of here. Oh, got out. Lucky escape. Let's go this way. Yeah, I'm not very good at jetpack jumping and whatnot. I might need to work on my double jump skills, but okay. Tricky. Oh, the other problem is if you double tap W when moving forward, it'll put you into that run mode, and you can end up running off a cliff. There's no fall damage, but I try and avoid falling down holes like this because I'm not very good at getting out. And so mining, yeah, that's mining in a nutshell. So it's a process of elimination. It's like an investigation almost. You find your use the scanner to find the vein or locate its rough location. I'm going to have to jump down. Yeah, I'm going to have to jump down. And then you use the detector just to fine tune it. No, it can't. I believe that mining is never going to be... I don't think they're going to actually automate the front end of the process because I think they want mining to be a profession in the game. So people who will invest... so if you go to scanners here, they get up to this level of scanning and detection. Invest a lot of... And that will be a profession for them. So far, I mean, I asked that question and was told no. It won't be automated, so you can never turn resource gathering into a production line, as far as I know. But if you're going to be an industrialist, the way I look at it is that in the real world, in industries, let's say making mobile phones, you don't mine the raw components and the raw resources to make that mobile phone. So the materials that go to make the processor, you buy from someone else. So the way I'm looking at it is if I'm going to be a manufacturer... excuse me, I'm going to have a coughing fit. Sorry. Having been in lockdown so long, this is the most talking I've done for about 5 months. The way I look at it is if I'm going to make mobile phones and I'm going to make processor for mobile phones, I don't want to be mining the resources. So as an industrialist, I plan to just manufacture. I love building. I'm actually thinking... I'm happy to share this idea with you because I don't think I could trademark it anyway, but I'm thinking about actually what you can do when you've built a factory is you call up the build mode, and if you press P, you can actually make a blueprint of that factory. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually, say, building a tiny factory that makes uncommon LEDs as an example, and say, right, that's a factory in a box, and you sell that on the market. Don't know where blueprints are, if they are on here. No. Do they come under consumables? Maybe not. I would imagine that you'd be able to sell blueprints though. But that my plan, one of the ideas I had was to maybe just design factories. Just say, okay, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a factory that can knock out, I don't know, electronic components really fast. Okay, here you go. There's your factory in a box. Blueprint. So, there we go. That's all the coal gone. And I think I still have my escape routes. Yes, I do. Quick check with the scanner. That's showing that there's more here somewhere. I might have to jump down. Okay, no. Right, that's it. All done. Well, actually, shipbuilding is probably the most complex part of the game. And I haven't tried it yet. I've just made the basic freebie. I actually brought a blueprint in with me from the alpha that another player gave to me because I just haven't had the time. I think it's a fairly unique skill, and I do believe that in our organisation we have a guy who's pretty hot at both doing. Gosh, I'm going to get into the lingo now. Voxelmancy. So voxels are the shapes that you can make. You can make shapes out of materials, basically. I think I've got lost. I know I'm going out. So voxels are the basic building blocks. I'll show you when I get out. I'll show you if I can get out. Which way is it? Help me out. I don't want to have to dig another hole out if I can help it. There we go. That's it. Right, this is running back out. So bear in mind as well that the game is in beta. So I'll talk about shipbuilding now, mate. So we can, because it is fairly complex, and I'm not going to even dare to try build a ship now because I would just embarrass myself on a stream. So this blueprint here is this is a ship that came out of the alpha, and it's just basically a space car. It's supposed to go into space, but for reasons I won't go into, it won't. It has so those engines that you can see lighting up now, they're the atmospheric engines, and then the 4 that you can see at the back and the 1 red one on top, they're the space engines. So, yeah. You also, the thing when you're designing ships, oh, I'm going to crash, is you can do things like this. See the inertia and the, let me just knock that engine off. So you can see where the forces are playing on the, right, there you go. So you can see the thrust now, for example. The downforce and whatnot. It's and like you can see when I'm using the adjusters, the blue lines there, they're showing you where the thrust is, and you can switch it off. So the components for the ships are made in an assembly line. So one of these, they sit right at the end of the industrial process. So you've got your raw materials. So if I go and have a look, if I go into build mode, make it quicker. This is the linked container here. So if I look in here now, I should have an awful lot of coal, and I do. 2,756. That's what we've just gathered underground. And via the linked container, there's none in my inventory. It's all gone straight to the factory. Beautiful. So that should now I've started the smelter up, which it has, and that should be making carbon. Yeah, there we go. So it's using coal to make carbon. So that'll output carbon to this one, I think it was. I need hubs. I need hubs. Which one's it outputting to? It must be that one. Carbon, there you go. Now if I put, I'm having to do this manually at the moment because I don't have enough containers. If I put that carbon back into this container, that will then feed making wood. So you see this has started now, where that was a red light when we came back. It's a green light now. That's started, and that's going to start churning out wood, which will go into this container here, I believe. Let's call the linking tool up. Let's get the links. So that's going to S29. It's that one. From M12 and 23. Okay, so where's that one feeding to? There you go, it's there. M12 to S29, so that's S17. S29. Where's that one feeding to? So that's feeding to there, so we should start to see wood appear in here, I think. Yeah, that's S29. So we'll wait for this to finish. But to answer your question, let's look at a ship component. Because the way I'm kind of viewing the market, which might be wrong because I believe that a lot of people just want to buy finished components. If you press K, wherever you are in the game, let's get out of build mode. If you press K, no matter where you are in the game, you bring up this, which is your crafting library, I guess. And what I've not used this bit before. What that does is it gives you access to every single blueprint, every single component that you can make. So let's say, for example, let's go space engine, right? So there are extra small space engines and small space engines. Let's try just engine. Yeah, atmospheric engines, hovercraft engines, space engines, basic electric engine. Oh, what's that for? Oh, I need to. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing. So let's go space engine. Okay, so this is the space engine. We want to make a space engine. So you work backwards from making one space engine, which is that. See that red thing there? That is it's that there. Space engine, that's an XS, right? And then on the back here, they're inside the thing, you can't see them. These are the voxels that surround it. Space engines, space engines, space engines, space engines. So those are XS space engines. So we are in our library, and we know that we want to make a space engine. So we know we need 6 screws. That's actually not a lot. So for that we need steel. For steel we need iron and carbon, and so on and so forth. So this allows us, and if you drill through there, you have this option to go back a step. So you can say, right, I know I need steel, and I know for steel I need iron and carbon. So there you go. So the steel is made in the smelter, and the smelter is here. So this is your smelter. Let's get rid of that. And so I can say in here, I'm going to make some steel. And let's turn it off. So I'm going to apply that, and then we go into this run mode, check the containers. Yep, I've got enough carbon. Yep, I've got enough iron. Let's make some steel. I'm just going to run that until it's finished. That steel then goes into this container here, and that container, into build mode again, feeds these metalwork. So these are 2 metal workers, okay? So those metal workers, we go back to this library. make the screws. Now you can make them by hand because you have to start off somewhere. But if I go into, let's say this one, and I go to recipes, basic screw, select that. Oh no, that's actually making something, ignore that. That's not. Basic screw, apply, check the containers. I've got loads of steel, so on this occasion I'm going to tell it to make 100 screws. And you get 10, so that's 1,000. There you go. That's making screws. Right, so we've got that bit of making a space engine done. So we go back to this. What's next? Basic burner. This one here. How do we make a basic burner? Well, we need screws. Well, we know we've got the screws being made already, but we need silicon as well. So that takes us back a step up the process again. Silicon comes from aluminium and silicon, and it's made in the smelter. So we go over to here. Now this is why I need more smelters. Silumin, so select that, and that needs aluminium and silicon, right? And you need to make those bars in the refiners, etc, etc. So okay, so we've got that bit done. So the burners we know we can make, and then so on and so forth. So you get the idea. Then you've got the basic ionic chamber. Okay, so this brings in another process within the factory. Steel we're already making. You can only make one at a time, which is why you need more than one industrial machine to make. So if you wanted to make 4 things that come from a smelter at the same time, you'd have to have 4 smelters, or you'd have to have 2 smelters and do them in one after the other. My end game is to have enough machines in the process that I don't need to change the process at all, and no matter what I want to make, I can just feed the front end and then change the processes through. But that's what I would call the super factory that I haven't designed yet, because it's a bit of a head scratcher, that one. So you can't like, I know what you mean, you can't go into a smelter and say, when you've finished making this, make that. I don't think. Let's stop that. There's no option that I've seen in these where you can queue. Now I did just see something here. Select a recipe and add it to the crafting queue. That's actually the nano crafter. So this is where you hand make stuff. So, but you can. So what it's saying there, for example, is I can use the resources that are in my linked container or from my nano pack, and that's based on. So if I switch that off, for example, and then go back to the hand crafter, it's now on my nano pack. So we were at space engine and we're at basic ionic chamber. We know we've got the steel in production. Basic connector needs aluminium and Fe. Is that copper? Alloy. Comes from a smelter. So again, we've got the smelter coming into play. Al. There we go. Aluminium and iron. So we need that. So that will then feed out into here. Okay, so you'll see I've got aluminium. It's copper. Fe. Is Fe copper? It's iron, isn't it? Did I just say it was iron? It's iron. It's iron. Stupid. So what we've got is raw materials in there, refiners to there, which push it out into these 2 containers here. Those 2 containers feed the smelter. I only have 1 smelter at the moment. I need 2 more for my. I need 2 more for my design, so I need to manufacture those. So we're looking at making basic connectors. We know we need the these. So once that smelter's made, the aluminium iron connector things, it goes into here. There's aluminium and iron, and then we bring in the electronics factory. So to make basic connectors, let me turn that light off, it's annoying. To make the basic connectors, you go connect, basic connector, apply that, and there. That will then feed from the container we've just looked at, which is S17, that one. Yeah, S17. So that will then take. So it's gone. We've gone through the process of from there into the refiner, and into these containers here, from those containers into the smelter, and that comes out to this container here, and then that container feeds these metal workers, these two electronic factories, and that 3D printer. So we're starting to subdivide. I also have a glass refiner here, which makes things like LEDs, which I've been using to make stuff for the org. And those LEDs go into making signs. So myself and another guy, we were making signs for the org. So when we build the city, they've got them for the factory and things like that. Yeah. I mean, that's it. And, then we've got, so what happens is I've had to do a bit of jiggery-pokery, and some of the processes I currently need to use are manual. So I output stuff to here. Now what I can do, which is really cool, I want to put that stuff, the manual process is putting the stuff from there back into there so it can refeed these two factories. So it's going from there, making components, they're pushing them back into that container, and then what I want to do is put them back in there because they're making subcomponents for another part of the process. So until I get more containers or a hub, what I do is make that as a linked container. So that's now the linked container here. There you go. So I can unclick that. So now instead of looking at the ore, I'm looking at these things that are in there. And then all I can do manually, it's not ideal, is just right click on that and say move slot to the linked container, and that will just manually, doesn't matter how far away it is, it'll just move it for you. So I've had to do some of this because of the constraints of the extra small factory. And I was making something in the, sorry, to finish off the entire bit, there's loads of other bits. So I've got the glass refiner there, and then that's actually lying on its side. I cheated and pushed it up against something and then lay it on its side and then took the other thing away. So that should be standing up really tall. Likewise this, which is the chemical thing, it's lying on its side. That's actually the base, so I cheated a bit. The orc, what orc? Ore! The ore. This ore here. That's a tier 1 ore. So these all feed into so that feeds into this, that takes its components from there and feeds into that container feeds this. So for example, in here I can make fuel. Could make some more actually. My fuel is selling really well at the moment, so a lot of people going into space. I'm hoping that as more people start playing, that will. So I'm actually going to get that. Let's get that running. How many can I make? 30. That's a lot of fuel. What's it using? Sodium. Stuff it. Let's just run that until it's empty. Make some more fuel. That's the honeycomb thing. Ignore that for now because that's what makes these. You go into build mode, and you can. This is how you build stuff. You can put blocks down. Oh. I'm going to do some guides on this because it's a lot of it's very complicated, and like I said, I'm only at the start of my the org, the organization. It's effectively a guild. That's what the guild is. So I'm digressing a lot. Let me just finish off this waffle before I bore myself silly. So you've got that process again. You've got the ores to refiners, refiners to the containers, containers to the smelter to here. The smelter feeds the metal workers, the electronics industry, the 3D printer, the chemical, and the glass is actually fed by this one because it sits further back in the process. All of that basically is to gather the components to feed these, which are the end of the end. Every single process ends at these. So when you were asking about, we were talking about space engines. when you come back to the space engines, you can manually craft them. You're kidding me. Okay, so the space engine you can manually craft. That doesn't make any sense to me, but let's have a look here at something. Piloting elements. Gyroscopes, I'm willing to bet that you can manually craft them as well. Landing gears. Rocket brakes. Where's rocket brakes? I think what would normally happen is you'd normally have a little text box there which tells you which factory it can be made in. It looks like you can manually make all of this stuff. That can't be right. Okay, no, it's not right. It's not telling you. It's not telling you what you can make it in. Let's try refined materials, pure refined materials. I don't understand. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'd put some text in. Nanocrafter only. There we go. My apologies. It's just that little toggle. This little toggle shows you the things that you can only make. So here you go. Freight military atmospheric engine XS. Craftable in assembly line XS. So the assembly lines go in sizes extra small, small, medium, large. I have a large. I haven't placed it yet because it's for the new factory, but it's that one, and it's too big to fit in my backpack. Hang on. Bet you I can't fit it in. Can I fit it there? No. I was going to show you the size of it, but can move that to the linked container. Nah. Anyway, so the large is like bigger than this one, and this one's already poking through the roof that I put in. I got my factory design slightly wrong there, but so extra small, small, medium, and each of these have different specializations. So we were looking at the military atmospheric engine, which is made in assembly line XS. But if I want to make a territory claim unit, for example, that's made in an assembly line medium. So yeah, we went off on a tangent then. So I hope that's whetted your appetite. And you're asking about ship design. I'm probably not the best person to speak to about that because I haven't actually tried to make my own ship yet. But it is a so if I can show you the mechanics by which you design ships. So you have a maneuver tool, which I've actually taken off my toolbar at the moment. My maneuver tool there. So maneuver tool lets you just pick stuff up and move it around, so I can pick that up and left click on it and it will pick it up and you can move it around. I think you can scroll out with your mouse and scroll in with your mouse and it'll bring it back and forth. W, S, A and D works as well, so S tips it forward and W, it's backward to me, but there you go. And Q and E and straight, so you can move this thing around however you want. Now that's important, because when you're designing, so if I leave it there, you're designing a ship, you press B and then you go into design mode, and this is where it gets crazy complex for me anyway. All of these bits that you can see here are the voxels. So if I wanted to take voxels out, for example, I call up number 2, which is the voxel tool, and press Alt, and the yellow means I can drag and take voxels out. Don't want to at the moment. Likewise, I can press 9, I think it is, to move element. And if I click on any of the elements now, I can move them. But I don't want to do that because I messed it up last time I tried. These are the air brakes, I think. So to go through, there's inertia. So all of these tools here. Don't want to worry about that. All of these tools you need to use, I believe you need to use while you're building a ship. It's just an atmospheric ship, you don't need that, but axis rotations shows you torque, inertia, stuff that at this moment in time I just haven't dived into. Atmospheric elements report, all kinds of stuff. Common elements reports, settings for the helper, display center of mass. So yeah, I'm not best placed to talk you through the ship design, other than to say I just plan on getting somebody else to do it for me. I mean, I don't even know. Is that an air brake? It's an air brake, I think. It's an atmospheric air brake. Why it's pointing up, I'll never know. I don't get it. And that's pointing down. Like, why? Don't get it. That air brake's pointing out. That's pointing out. So yeah, I don't get that personally. But there you go. And then you have to have. So you've got these adjusters. You have an adjuster at the side, front, left, and right. You have an adjuster on the bottom. You have an adjuster at the top. And then you have an adjuster there on the side, and I imagine you have more adjusters underneath here. Yeah, so you just need to make sure that you can actually turn the vehicle in as many. So if you think about, you've got pitch, roll, yaw. That's it, isn't it? Pitch, roll, and yaw. Yeah, trying to think. Oh, I missed one. There's pitch, yaw, and roll. Yeah, that's it. That's your three main directional. Is that, what's that? So there you've got adjusters on there as well. So you just need to make sure, if you imagine looking at this now, you can tip that side up and tip it down, tip that side up and tip it down. You need to make sure that you can push the front end to the left and right, the back end to the left and right, and the front end up and down, and you know, so on and so on and so on. So how it rolls, I guess, would be pushing up on one side and down on the other. But so if I go over the basic components, that there is somewhere in here an emergency thing. I can't see it. I didn't build this. So I have, this is a space fuel tank, because it's supposed to be able to go into space, but I can never break atmosphere. I mean, I can show you that if you like, if you want to see what what happens when I try and break atmosphere on this. Go on, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. Why are you not? There you go. Come on, down here. I will just set my location. So it's destination. So now I'm coming back to. So flying. How much time would it take to build an Imperial Star Destroyer? Do you know what? That's a question for somebody else in my organisation, but I think they're doing it. I know that you can build, for example, you can build a space station. You can go and just drop a core on an asteroid and say, I'm going to turn this asteroid into a space base. Right? You can just fly into space and say, there's an asteroid, we're going to turn it into a space station, and we're going to have a fleet on there. Yeah. Or you could say, I mean, there are, you know, there's no limit. The biggest ship I've seen was about, a lot bigger than this one. It was a full crew system. Now, the other thing you've got in game, which again I haven't got into yet, is Lua scripting. So you can actually program your own stuff in game. Turn these off. Okay, so we're heading up. Things to bear in mind as we head up are atmospheric fuel is what we're using at the moment through these engines. That's dropping worryingly. You have the gravity, you have your altitude at sea level, and the atmosphere on different planets thins at different heights. So what you'll see, where's thrust? Atmospheric thrust, right? That's dropping because as you get higher up, the air gets thinner and the gravity becomes less, and you produce less thrust as you get higher into the altitude. So that thrust is going to drop. Now, let me just get back into control of this. So at the moment, I'm doing 540 kilometers an hour. The highest I've been able to get this ship is 4,150 meters, and I believe you break atmosphere at 4,400. Now, I've got those thrusters on full, and if you can see here, that's getting less and less and less. If I call up the level of thrust, right, that's way down from what it should be. So if you keep watching, if you keep watching over here, the altitude from sea level, I'm going up at about 9 degrees roughly. And the camera angle might be slightly off, maybe. Getting to 3,900 meters now, so I'm starting to get close to breaking atmosphere into space. Let me turn that off as well. And you can see the thrust is dropped to almost nothing because I'm generating no thrust. And now, what are we? 4,080 meters, 4,090 meters. You see the thrust. The atmospheric thrust is down to nothing. It's minuscule. So I need to get to 4,400 meters, and it never happened. Oh my goodness, I've never been this high before. This has never worked before. Let me just nose down a bit. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you see I'm dropping now, even though I'm full tilt and I'm going up, I just can't break the atmosphere, unfortunately. Which is a shame. There are... Oh, I'm going to turn around and go back. There are... there's a ship shop somewhere, actually, where you can have a look at different designs of ships. Let me... that's not good. I'm going to hit the ground. I'm going to hit the ground pretty fast. Come on. There you go. Yeah, it's fairly realistic physics. I'm going to hit the ground. 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 No. Okay. I think I've recovered. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see the thrust though. Now we're lowering the atmosphere. Let me find... where am I? I'm over there. Let me go here. I think there's a shop there, so... And these are the, I guess, what you would in any other game call the NPC locations. They're the districts, as they call them. Yeah, the space engine is supposed to turn on. It's all connected, but it's not on this ship, and I don't know why. But I'm told that on Sanctuary, the space engine comes on at 4,400 meters. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I can't get it into space. I've tried numerous times. But that's okay, because my focus is on the industry. Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the other ships. Right, don't laugh at my landing. Do not laugh at my landing. It may be... It's the Frank Spencer of landing approaches. Okay. By the way, guys, if I haven't mentioned it before, I am actually running a competition which will take place over the next week or two to win a beta key to get into the game. So I have one to give away. But I wanted to get this live stream up and running first. So if you can't wait, I understand, but I will be giving away a beta key. All you need to do is follow me on Facebook I'm not supposed to say this, but follow me on YouTube as well. Probably do that video tomorrow. Announce the competition. And I've only got one key to give away. I think you might be right, Ben. Yeah, I can strip it away and try again. It was a blueprint that I brought from alpha into beta. I've checked. I mean, I checked all the linkages. I guess the only way to do it would be to strip it down and. The problem is the space engines. You can see at the back there, the space engines are inside the blueprint. I mean, the other alternative is that I just tear this thing apart and use the components to build something of my own. I'm going to crash. I just know I'm going to crash if I do this on stream. I've been practicing my landings. So you can see around here as well. This is quite a densely populated area. Lots of people seem to want to live by the markets. It's a fairly boring little home. My apologies to whoever built that. I'm sure you're very proud of it. Can't say much. My factory is just a big cube. It's just the shop. Which is the shop? I don't know. What? What? Oh, I've never had that happen before. I'm nowhere near the Ark ship. How weird. Oh, well, I'll park down here then. Oh, thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's I've been playing. I played the alpha a bit, and you might be right about them being blocked, but I've had so much fun building my industry that I've just gone, shipbuilding, yeah, whatever. I'll worry about it another time. Now I think this is the ship shop. I think you'll see that it gets a little bit more laggy as you get into these sort of densely populated areas. Yeah, here we go. So these are ships that you can actually buy. Can you visualize them? Can I see them? Okay, right. So this looks like it's a hauler, maybe. Don't know. Can you get in? No, you can't. So let's have a look. 639k. It's a light cargo. I could probably do with that. No weapons, 6-ton capacity, 2 rocket boosters. I reckon that'd get me into space, do you reckon? Bit of a hauler. And it's 600k. And I can afford that. I got 847. Oh, you get 100k a day for logging in. So every day you log in, you get 100k, which is handy. But I've made a lot of money off the markets. I've been selling stuff. Fuel seems to be selling quite well, although that's taken a while to sell. What's this one? So you don't have to do ship design if you don't want. You can buy off other players or. This looks like a fighter. Is that a light fighter? No capacity. Oh, it's just a ship, A to B. What's this one? I've not looked at these before. So we have the N72 Pulse Mark 1 personal craft. It's just it's not even a transport, light freighter. Ah, here we go. This looks like I kind of. Where's the seat? Ah, it's done it! What size are they? 2 small containers. 19 tons! God, I might buy that. 302. That's just atmospheric, isn't it? Yeah, it's just atmospheric. It can't go into space. But even so. Don't know. I like that. It's got lights on it as well. Look. Big tank. Big fuel tank. So these are the containers. That's interesting. I quite like that one. It's cheap and cheerful. I kind of like when I play games like Star Citizen, for example, all of my ships are MISC, which is a very functional manufacturer. Everything's very pragmatic. You can see the rivets and the bodywork and stuff. The only ship that I have which is fancy is the 300 Explorer. Guessing that's a fighter, maybe? No? Atmospheric. Ah, I like this. Look at that one. That's cool. The Dragonfly, light cargo, 3.8 tons. How'd you buy it? Get a batch. Sure, I want to do that. Skirmisher, hybrid. No weapons. How can it be an interceptor if, oh, sorry, if it hasn't got any weapons? It's got space engines. S's. Fuel tanks. Yeah. Yeah, the fuel tank right by your head. It's the sort of thing I'd do. Have you tried one of those? Have you? Because I just assumed that if they're oh, what's all that? You reverse thrusters from atmospheric engines, seriously? Two M's for hover. I guess you'd need that with the. You've got one. Cool. And you wouldn't recommend it. That's the core, isn't it? So, okay, one thruster at the front, one thruster at the back. 2 thrusters at the back. Oh, I'm not liking that. That pod is literally the. What did you say about it? Doesn't have enough forward thrust to fly. Okay. Engines under your arse cheeks. Yeah, you got a fuel tank by your head and engines under your arse. I like this one. I really do like that one. Yeah, I mean, I did notice those wings were just ridiculous. Excess. But I don't understand the whole mass thing. Ship design it's beyond me. Currently, it's on the to-do list. Ooh. No, I don't get that. That's kind of pointless for me. That one. Sorry. Capacity not applicable. Right, so you can just fly around. It's just a transport. I do like this. 6 tons. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm currently looking at this and thinking, should I? I can't see where the storage is on this though. I don't. Excess. Don't tell me it's a load of excess containers. Surely it's not. Right, the next floor up. You go at the side. Is that it? Guess not. Where's the blipper? There you go. Ooh, look at that baby. Holy moly, look at those engines. Space engines. It's atmospheric as well. Rockets. Yeah, atmospheric engines. I'm guessing it handles like a bit of a pig in atmosphere, this, maybe. Yeah. This is all too much distraction from my chugging away in the industry. What is it? CV2A Spectre. That's a cargo ship. What's the capacity? 20 tons. I want it. I like it. I want it. That's mine. How much was it? 3 millions. Right. That baby's mine. Oh, hang on a minute. This is shiny. Cargo ship. 35 tons, 2.2. Yeah, that's alright. Looks like the Freelancer in Star Citizen. A little bit. Just a big tube. God, you know, I just look at stuff like that and think, I would never know where to put all these things. I just wouldn't know where to start. Anyway. Right. I've told you. This isn't a ship. That's not a ship. Please tell me that's not. That is a ship. You're joking me. Oh, that's my favourite. That's awesome. How much is that? Oh, I'm getting all squeaky now. You know I like it. 11 million. 100 tons. 150 tons. What? That's 11 million for 100 tons. And what? Oh, it's because it's got a warp drive, is it? Yeah, warp drive. Crew of 9. So there's no warp drive on this one. Oh, I want one. I want one. I'd be scared to fly it. Look at all that storage! Oh, baby. Yeah, it is. Yeah. What the hell's that? Is that a door? It's airlock. Got the engines just behind your head again. Oh, they're the fuel tanks. Oh. Okay. That's awesome. That really is awesome. But you'd want the one with a warp drive, really, wouldn't you? I'm guessing this is no different inside. Hello? Me up? I'm serious? That the warp drive? That's crazy. That is crazy. I wonder how much fuel that uses. Rob it! Yeah, get the keys. Distract the salesman. Can I make an offer on it? I'll give you everything I've got. You can have my entire factory and this awesome little space-capable farty car that can't get into space. Oh well, back to the mundane. Reminds me of that old TV advert. Maybe one day, eh, son? None of that nonsense for me. Proper car. Where's it gone? Has it crashed? There it is. The Ferrari of the skies. Oh dear. Oh, hang on, tell you what. Let's go back to the factory and go back to reality. Well, that was fun. And I've totally forgotten what I was supposed to be doing. I was looking at mining, and then we got distracted, and then we got distracted again, and then we got distracted again. Excuse me. Oh, can you hear that? Big Chinook flying over. I think. Let's have a look. Stick my head out the window. Yeah, it's a Chinook. Very low as well. Scary. Right, back to the factory. So my plan is to try and make it easy for people to slide into the game, because there is an awful lot of information that you pick up from other players that you wouldn't ordinarily just know, and they're not given to you in the tutorial. That's me overhead. Where are you? I can't see you. Can't see you. So stuff that if you played in the alpha you'll know, like how to mine, how to flatten earth, how to set up your factory, what the various tools are and stuff like that. So few short tutorials. Now it's open now, mate. The game is open. I think you can pay $6.99 a month subscription for access. So we had alpha testing phases 1, 2 and 3. I joined the game in alpha 3, and then 2 weeks ago today alpha 3 closed, and then the following I'm not going to test it. I'm not going to test it. It wasn't last week or last night. So, yeah, should we try? Oh, missed. So the game was in alpha, and it came out of alpha last week, and then they went into a kind of closed beta for people who were in the alpha, and then they opened it today, a couple of hours ago. An hour and 50 minutes ago, the game opened. So I think it's $6.99 a month to subscribe to get in. So yeah, hope to see you in. Right, this is what I was going to do. So we were. I mean, if you like games like Star Citizen, Space Engineers, Empyrion, Satisfactory, Factorio, things like that, then and Eve Online, it's kind of got elements of all of those games merged into one. I just do factories. That's all I do. I just play with factories. I mean, I like to explore, but all I do is just do factory processes. If you get a chance, I mean, I'll do. Yeah, it's not a lot, is it? There's still some bugs, but it's playable. And I think the more people subscribe, I mean, Nova Quark have done an incredible job in a very short space of time getting the game to where it is. Is it perfect? No. Is it playable? Absolutely. I'm hooked. And it has something for everyone. You can. If you like. Particularly if you like Satisfactory, then the stuff that I'm doing here you'll really enjoy. And I've already been through it once on the stream, so I won't do it again. But if you get to see a copy of the stream, it's on be on YouTube and Twitch. Go back, because I explain, like, all these pink lines are basically your conveyor belts in Satisfactory. So if you can pull together, these are the conveyor belts that you would have in Satisfactory. And these are containers, and these are industrial units that make stuff. So if you liked that whole process design element in Satisfactory, then you'll really like this. It's easier to do. So if I want to link something, I just use this link tool. I click on one thing like that, and then I drag it to another, and then click. I won't do that because I don't want that to feed into there. But or do I? Stuff it. Yeah, let's do it anyway. There you go. Connected them now. Absolutely no reason to do that in the process, but there you go. Yeah, you'll like it. So, I mean, I'll give you a very, very quick overview because I've done this on the stream already once. But this, in my process at the moment, this is the smallest factory you can have. And in my process, these are the raw materials, right? On here, all of these are the stuff that you mine, and you can mine by digging holes in the ground. You'll see. Like, if I just show you quickly, over here somewhere, I went mining earlier. Where is it? I'll fall down it somewhere. Nope, can't find it. It was over here somewhere. Never mind. Oh, there it is. Yeah, big deep hole I went mining in. That goes a long way down. You mine the resources. Yeah, it's a lot easier. The conveyor belts. You can't. I mean, this is a new factory I'm building here. You can't go from one factory to the next, so I can't link these two factories. You have to have everything on one plot. But raw materials in to here. And then these raw materials feed the refiners, which turn it into. So there's two refiners being fed from that. Roughly speaking, without going into the complexities of the actual process. Imagine there's your raw resources. They feed into the refiners, which produce the bars, the actual bars of metal here, resources, and that one. So these two output into two containers. Okay, those two containers then feed via these pink lines here, and you can mouse over and it will show you. They feed the smelter. And the smelter then makes products, so it will take like steel, so it will use carbon and iron and make steel. That steel then goes into this container here. There, 2,600 litres of the stuff, and then that then feeds the next part of the process. So these are two metal workers here. Let's turn that off. These are two metal workers, and then that one's making screws. This one was making hydraulics, I think, basic pipes. Okay. Actually need that to make hydraulics, so give me a moment. I need the basic hydraulics to be done. Apply that. I have to do some manual rejigging, I'm afraid. Process isn't perfect. It's because I'm halfway through moving factories. That should now start. There you go. Started. So yeah, so that then feeds these two metalworkers, but that also feeds these electronic factories. These two are electronics factories. They make like processors and chips and whatnot, and connectors and things. And then this is a 3D printer here. So that 3D printer, so those two metalworkers, these two electronics, and that 3D printer are all fed from this. And then they push the process into here. So these are the outputs. There's nothing in there at the moment because I've actually put some back into here, electronics and connectors and things, because they go back into the loop to make something else. When you've done that, what you've also got, which is being what you've also got up here, which is being fed by the smelter in via here, is this. It's a glass furnace that makes things like LEDs and glass. Funnily enough. And then that container is also feeding the chemical plant manufacturer. Missing output storage. Okay, I've been making lots of fuel and it's. Anyway. That's making fuel, and then that feeds into this container, and then those containers feed these, which are the final assemblers. So they take all of those components throughout the process. That said, there's an awful lot of industrial units here that I don't have, and sizes that I don't have. So, like I have that honeycomb makes these. That's kind of like a whistle-stop tour. But I was going to talk about base design, or at least the what they call the voxels. So this is wood. This is what I'm building the factory floor from. Don't know why. Should be concrete, but there you go. It was easily obtainable. And the way that we build using voxels is you go into build mode by pressing B. And that brings up, if you see on the bottom there, you'll see that the menus change when I press B. So that's the standard menu where I've got mining, scanning, detecting, placing stuff, refueling, all of that stuff. So I press B and look at what I want to build. Go into build mode. So to be able to get there, you need to make a core. And this is a medium core. So this is a medium-sized building. And the next one up from that is a large. This is an extra small. So if you look at the cube, that's going to be the size of the factory. So these are the limits of this factory. Honestly, I think that's going to be more than enough for a one-man band like me. Honestly, think that will be the case. But what we do have when we're in build mode and when we're building the structure, I'll show you. I'm not too good with the whole Voxelmancy thing, which is I'm going to make that a big block. Right, so if I just drop this on here, I'll show you some of the things you can do. There's a big block. There you go. Right, big block of wood. That's effectively, you can change the size of that. So I can place that at any size. I can place it as a tiny cube. I can place it as a huge cube. I can actually place it in different size shapes, so I can have it as a circle or a triangle and blah 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 blah. There's all these different shapes you can have. Right. So that's it. Let's say I've placed that and it's going to be, I don't know, a column in the building. You've got all kinds of different tools you can use now to change this. I don't know what they do. So this is the area shape. So you can, if you're an artist and a sculptor, you can change things using these voxel tools. So effectively, you can make the building anything you want. You can make it be anything you want. Now, I have not tried to do any voxelmancy, but there are plenty of people out there who do, and I honestly will not probably invest any time on my channel looking at. I mean, I don't know what we'd do if you just. It's just a shaping tool by the looks of it. This is a mutual voyage of discovery. Then we have this one. Looks like it 5? Is it round the edges? Yeah, I don't know. So you can see you can do all sorts. In essence, what it gives you is complete freedom to make a building any size, shape, or style you want. I don't know what that does. Select voxel. Don't know what it does. Replace voxel. So somebody in my org, which I hasten to add is the biggest in the game, so if you'd like to join, please feel free. Is going to teach me and us other members how to work with these thingamybobs. So you've got the shaping, and I think there's all kinds of things you can do with this. But again, I'm not the best person to speak to about this. Don't even know why this is doing this now. Area smooth. But I can do that with the place, so I can do that and delete voxels. It's not an aspect of the game that I've ever invested any time in, but it fascinates me. I mean, I'd love to have the foresight to be able to do something with these tools eventually. But I think there are, I mean, from what I've seen, there are some incredibly clever people out there doing some incredibly stunning things, building cities like this. You could just lose yourself for hours, just shaping a piece of wood. Select tool, right, which one's the select tool? Let's deploy, line, area smooth, smooth voxel. Area smooth. How do I do the area smooth? Let's try that, shall we? Yeah, see, if you look at the instructions for this now, it's giving me I can select the area that I want to smooth. Okay, so let's say that that's the area I want to smooth. Then what? Undo, redo, stop editing, smooth voxels, left mouse button. Oh, you can make a chair, look. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think pending operation, there's one of the bugs. I think there are people out there who are better placed to talk through this than me. But anyway, I'm really good at just putting big squares down for factories, which is easy, I know, but ah. As you can see, my Voxelmancy is non-existent. That's the term they use anyway, Voxelmancy. They being Voxelmancers, not me. Oh, I was pressing Alt then. Anyway, so once you can just delete and redo, which I'm going to have to do with my floor now. But there we go. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know, mate. I mean, I'm not good at this at all. And all I want is a square floor for my factory. That's all I need. Boring as it is. I mean, I do have visions of one day, like building a skyscraper, but I think I'm a long way off that. There's a guy in the org, in our org, who's going to teach a few of us how to do it, I think. But what I was going to look at, actually, so this is for... I'm primarily targeting people who don't play, haven't played, or interested in playing with this stream. So I might be teaching you through some of the basics. So where I started off at the start of the stream nearly 2 hours ago was building a factory. So I talked about... God, I really did get digressed. I've made the wood. So we went through from the raw materials to the refiners, making wood, which went into the honeycomb machine, which made the actual finished product wood. So this aged brown wood. And is that still going? Yeah. So all I'm doing at the moment is building the factory floor. And first things first, you can see I've cleared out this with the mining tool. Left some holes. That was accidental. I just got a bit carried away with the mining tool. But what's important is that you get a flat surface. You're going to put the floor down. A flat surface. So the tool that I have been using, so I use the mining tool to dig away all these chunks and carve a space in the rock for it. And then if I press B here, you can see that the mesh fits in. Right? So we're okay. But as I build this floor at this level, you can see that I'm going to hit this. So that the floor is going to be in the ground. So tricks to use the flatten tool. I always put the flatten tool on number 7. I don't know why. So the flatten tool is really good, but you kind of need to know how to use it. Hey, Leonard, thank you for joining, mate, and I will see you in game, hopefully. In the org, don't forget, the Empire, it's the one you want to be, it's where you want to be. We're the place that everyone else wants to attack. So, my watch is telling me something about Instagram now. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly help with the factory design stuff, Ben, because that's where I've invested most of my time. But I sketch it out. I mean, I have a piece of paper here next to me, and I've sketched out the next factory. So I'm actually going through the process in this factory of building the bits. Well, that's finished. So I have another refiner now. In theory, I have another refiner. This is wonderful news. Yeah. So I mean, anything you know about mining, feel free to share. And so the flatten tool, it took me a while to learn how to use this, and it was quite infuriating. But the flatten tool has a very specific way of doing its thing. The flatten tool won't fill in holes like this. It can't do it. It only flattens, right? So it can't fill that hole in. But you where you have this yellow circle on the ground, the point that it takes to flatten everything else around it, 2, is the point where the dot is in the middle. So where just where it says sanctuary, then just to the right of that, that's the dot. So if I, for example, go and I click here, it's going to build the ground up. Cool. So it's building the ground up towards me. So what you do is you put that dot on the lowest point. I always work from the lowest point up. You could work from the highest point down, but then if you get to a point like this, you'll end up with holes. So I always work from the lowest point up, and then if it's not high enough, I can build it up a bit more. And you just point that dot at the lowest point and then just walk around, and it flattens. So if you're building a large factory like what I've done here, or I'm in the process of doing, then you use the dot as the kind of the benchmark, or the, not a theodolite, but the baseline for where you want the ground to be flattened to. And you just walk around and do this. Boring as it is, but needs to be done. And if you ever just slip, you can just go back down to the lower level. But it's easier this way. But this is going to be one doozy of a factory. I actually need to plan it out, I think. Sketch it out. I'm really keen to see the tools that people are going to bring out for this game. So I'm really keen to see, like with Star Wars Galaxies, we had all kinds of websites that were supporting player-made websites like SWG Craft and SWG Harvest, and that supported in-game mechanics. So I'd be really keen. What I'd like to see is a crafting calculator, because I started to try and do one on in Excel in a spreadsheet. My head started to hurt quite a lot. I had to go and lie down in a dark room and have a word with myself. So, but even just to say, well, I think, what was it I tried to do? Tried to build a spreadsheet to make, it was a territory claim unit. And I thought, right, I'm going to start and I'm going to drill down through all the subcomponents until I get to a point where I know exactly how many resources I need for every part of that process. And I'm not too bad with Excel. I've used it extensively in work, run companies off it actually, but I didn't have the wherewithal to keep going at that and get it to a point where it was workable solution. So I'm hoping that somebody else will do that for me. But there is a variable which is your production efficiency. So it's going back to what we were saying earlier about the skills that you train. And again, I pressed the wrong button. So if you go into it's industrial, I think. So chemical industry efficiency, crafting time, and you get there's something somewhere where you get more. Right, maybe it's in mining and inventory. Where is it? It's in crafting. Let's take fuel. Plus 5% fuel when running fuel recipes. So the efficiency and the amount of fuel that you get out of a blueprint or a specific process that you're running is dependent upon the skills that you have. And I'm going to check the market. Nobody's buying my stuff. Go buy my shit. Well, I just flatten the land. If you think about it, the whole story, the Ark ship lands and humans are setting up their, starting their new life in the new world and the new planets and new solar system and all that stuff. We're actually quite parasitic in nature, aren't we? Because we're just digging holes and terrorizing the planet. That's humans. That's us humans. Don't mind me, I'm just working my soil, working my land. Oh. That was too far. I don't know how this bit's going to work because there's a few holes here. Oh, worked. I'll be honest, this isn't probably the most exciting viewing, but it needs to be done, so. Such is the nature of streaming dual universe. Doobie-doo. Anybody know any good jokes? No? Trying to think of all the worst jokes that I've ever heard. Like, horse walks into a bar, and the barman says, "Why the long face?" Guy walks into the bar and says, "Can I have a pint of beer, please?" And it's a piece of knot working as a bar staff. Piece of knot says, "Sorry, I can't serve you." And this guy says, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm afraid not." That's so bad. My wife always tells me that I have a lavatorial sense of humour. So does my mum. They're probably right. But I try and keep it clean on the stream, even though I flagged this as not child friendly. Oh no, me flattening's gone AWOL. Oh, start again. There we go. Dun 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 dun. Right. So don't forget, everyone who is watching the stream, if you're in the game and you haven't already joined, please join the Empire. We are currently, by player numbers, the largest in the game. But if you're looking for industry, if you're looking for combat, we're the place to go. So all flat now. So just that bit that I've missed. Okay. I think we're there. I don't actually know what it's flattening now. If anything. Anyway, that's enough. So, back to build. So we flattened the ground using the flattening tool and a few bits and bobs. I probably don't have enough wood to finish this, so stop it. I'm going to try and just fill out this portion closest to the factory because this is probably where I'll be working the most. So, okay, here's another thing for another tip. When you're placing your voxels and you're just trying to do a big block like this, it's a little bit quirky. So what you have to do, select the point where you're going to drag from, and here it's okay because you can point at the middle of the woodwork, but sometimes you have to point at the corner there just to get it to register. You just have to move the cursor around a bit, and then you click and hold. Right, so you click and hold and drag in one direction. Then when you've got to the point where you want to spread it into an area, let go and don't click, and then just move and drag. I've used up all my wood. Right, and there you go. That's how you do it. Still got 83 meters, cubic meters. So again, you click and drag, and then let go, and then move. And then click again. There you go. Took me a while to work that out. It's a little bit quirky, but there you go. It makes sense when you've done it a few times. You just have to be careful as well when you're dragging it out. It goes up and down like that, so you have to just be mindful. This is going to be an absolutely awesome. So this cannibal came home late for dinner, so his wife gave him the cold shoulder. I love it. Actually, my friend runs a Facebook group called Dad Joke, I think it's Dad Joke Teas. Let me have a look. Call it up. There's some crackers on there. Dad Joke Teas. It's his company. So he's, where's the group? It's in the group. It's group. Dad Jokes England. Is that the one? No, it's in the groups that I'm in. Groups. Where's my groups? How do I get to... Facebook, stop being stupid. Not that one. My groups. There we go. We didn't find any results. I know I'm in groups. Let's try again. There's some... It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. There's some cracking jokes. There we go. Dad Joke T-shirt. I took the shell off my racing snail to make it go faster. If anything, it made it more sluggish. Have you ever used a telescope before? No, never. Is it fun? You should look into it. Why does the Norway Navy have barcodes on the side of their ships? So when they come back to port, they can scan the Scandinavian. Oh my god. I've not read this one before. A guy goes into a seafood restaurant and asks to see the live dishes of the day. The waiter leads him over to a large tank and the man examines the fish. I'll have the little green squid, the one in the corner with the hairy lip. Okay, replies the waiter and calls out, Gervais. A little French chef appears with a large knife. The waiter instructs the chef to kill the... I think I know the punchline for this. Gervais is about to slice at the poor squid when he notices the sad look on its face. Gervais is touched and admits that he hasn't the heart to kill the squid. Not to worry, says the waiter, and calls out Hans, at which an enormous German bloke comes out of the kitchen. Sir, says the waiter, this is Hans, our dishwasher. Hans, kill that squid. The dishwasher catches the squid and wielding a huge rolling pin is just about to bludgeon the little green fellow with the hairy lip when it cringes back and gives a little cry. I'm sorry, sir, I just cannot kill the squid, Hans admits, his lower lip trembling. Wait for it. Well, sir, says the waiter, it just goes to show hands that do dishes can be soft as Gervais with mild green, hairy lip squid. Oh, jeez, that was just so bad. You're going to love this one. Your wife went, my missus asked me to make a bird table. Yesterday she moved into 8th place. Oh dear. Two cows in a field chewing grass. I was artificially inseminated last night. Seriously? Yeah, straight up, no bull. This one you'll only get if you're a football fan in the UK. Did you know that the actor Yul Brynner was a lifelong Liverpool fan and he never wore aftershave? That's right, you'll never walk alone. Visited a monastery and as I walked past the kitchen I saw a man frying chips. I asked him, are you the fryer? He said, no, I'm the chipmunk. I can't go on. I'll save it for the next stream. Right, where was I? Building stuffs. Building stuffs. Do. I don't know if this is a bug or whether it's supposed to be like that. Oh no, I've run out of wood now. Is this working? No. Why are you not making wood? Are we out of carbon? I should probably get rid of that before I start. We have carbon, we have no oxygen. Alright, I can solve that. Come here, yo. Right, so the next thing that I need to make should be waiting for some hydraulics. I believe I need 250 hydraulics. So I'm 9 short. They actually take quite a while to produce as well. I'm going to stop that, I think, because I've already got enough screws loose. Ba-dum-tsh. Hey, my wife's downstairs and she's texting me. Okay, there we go. She's taking the dog for a walk, which is normally my afternoon duty, but because I'm streaming, she's letting me off, I think. So, in here we have the carbon, and we are now going to have the oxygen, and then that will mean this starts up again. There we go. So that's now running, producing wood, which is going to feed... which container is it feeding? This one? It feeds this machine, but I think it comes into... What container is it to go out to? Container S16, is that one? No? S16, so it's feeding that one. So that must be feeding this input S16. Yeah, there we go. So when that wood starts coming through from the refiner, that's going to go into that container. That's then going to feed this with the wood, this wood, and that's going to turn it into the aged brown patterned wood, which is going to deposit it in here. Good. Right, and the next thing I was going to do was make a large container, which is I need to do that. So large GE. It's terrible. It's terrible that we're all so lazy that we text each other. Now I know that the reason she didn't come up and come in the office is because she knows that I'm streaming. But it's terrible that we're all so lazy that we can text from one side of the house to the other. Right, I can't make a large container in this. So here is the dilemma. So I need to make some space in this. I am running out of room desperately. Storage space here. Where can I drop some of this stuff? Can I put it in here? Yeah, I can put it in there. The glass can temporarily go in there. Silicon can go in there. No, it can't. It can go in there. Yes, it can. There's a lot of silicon there. I need to do something with that. So I need to make a large container. So to do that, I need to start to move into this new factory. Now, I'm loath to move the assembly line first, but needs must. So I'm going to see if I can pick up the assembly line, which I should be able to do. And this is going to be a temporary home for this large assembly line because I know that I need to place element. Okay, so for those watching who don't understand how to place factories and whatnot, I'll give you a quick overview of my limited experience. So you go into build mode when you're looking at the factory. You don't have to be on the core, so you don't have to be like right on top of that. Just be somewhere where you're looking at the factory and press B, and that puts you into build mode. What build mode does is lets you fly, basically, and stay flown, so you can build stuff up. You do need to always have a connection to something that's connected to the core, though, so you can't just go. I don't think you can go and start just dropping cubes in the sky. So you have to glue it to something. So, in terms of, oh dear, oh, we just got booted. Oh dear, oh dear. Interesting. I'm hoping that that's because we've got. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think our neighbours could take a leaf out of your book. They're forever screaming at their children, and the children are screaming back at them as a consequence of learning. That's weird. I've not had really any disconnects throughout alpha. Throughout alpha 3 or beta last week. Okay, we're back. So, okay, placing the way we work in building, whether it's shipbuilding or so there are. Why somebody just sent me a message saying OMG? Picture of me and my friend's wife in a sports car I used 12 years ago. Okay, so build mode. Build mode puts us into this unique kind of style where we can fly around, so you get to look around the things you're building. You need to have a core. Now, there's numerous kinds of different cores, but the bulk of them are static or dynamic. And the clue's in the name. Static, like this one, is it stays still, so it's not a movable core. Should stop doing that. And then dynamic is like in this ship here, somewhere in the middle of this, there will be a core, which will be a dynamic core somewhere. So, static core, go into build mode, and you have a certain number of tools available to you. They are, number 1 is place element, number 2 deploy voxel, and number 3 is line voxel, which I guess is like doing columns and stuff, and the shaping tool, which we looked at before, area smooth voxel. Linking is when you link factory things together. Replace, select voxel, beyond me. It's something I have to learn. Replace voxel, and then move element. So the ones that I use the most are place element, links, number 6 on my keyboard, and then number 9, which is move element. So, okay, the way it works is I have the assembly line, and I have a small container, extra small container in my inventory. Okay, what I want to do is place the assembly line. Now, as I said before, this isn't permanent. So, with my deploy element, so terminology is what we're working on is a construct. Okay, the factory built up from the static core is a construct. If you're building from a dynamic core, then what you're building is a construct. And bits that go into that, like a factory unit, like a space engine, is called an element. It's the game terminology. So the element that I want to place is the large factory. Now this is big. This is big. Sorry, large assembly line. What you do is you have it in you select the tool, and then you open your inventory and you drag to there, and up it pops. Now, because you're in build mode, you can fly. You can just position it wherever you want it. I don't know why I'm being so fussy about moving it to the edge, because oh look, I can go over the edge. Right, there you go. That's placed. And I just did that using the mouse, but what you can do is if you're not happy with it, you press number 9 and pick it up and move it again. Things you can do, you can press T, I believe, and scroll your mouse wheel up and down, and it'll go up and down, and you can bury it in the ground if you like. There you go. How's that? That's actually quite handy. That'll make for a lot of space. But I like it to be visible, so there. The other thing you can do is press R, press and hold R, and then rotate your mouse, and it'll move around like that. You can also cheat with some ways. You can turn them on their side like that. You can glitch them so they're lying down. So like, I'm going to get disconnected again. So this, for example, is the chemical industry thing. This is actually lying on its side. I glitched it against this column and got it to lie on its side, and then quickly clicked to place it, because otherwise it's really tall. So, a bit naughty, but there you go. Why is that output? Oh, is that the output? Oh, there's more wood there. Right, let's finish the floor. Anyway, back into build mode. We're going to place the factory. Now, the factory needs to be fed. Oh, it's still there. Okay, fair enough. Factory's there. You can move it around, so nothing's permanent. Everything is removable. So when I move this factory and I want to move it to the organisation that I'm in, which I haven't mentioned, it is the Empire, and you should join us if you play. I want to move the factory, so what I will do is just pull all of this up, or most of it. I'm going to leave a small factory here, and I will move everything slowly. I might have to buy one of those haulers that we were looking at earlier, but I will move everything over time to the new base location. So I've already put a request in for a new factory in the new location. Building a city, apparently. Which again, for somebody who was fairly late to that alpha, it's quite exciting to see. You know, especially as I get my kicks from doing all this kind of building. Yeah, it's annoying that it only lets you do a certain size space. No, I may actually get the entire floor finished from this. And then I can start working on the next floor up. No, we're out of wood. Dagnabbit. Okay, so we have this. Get out of build mode. So we have the large assembly line now. So in there we've got, as you can see over there, extra small, small, medium. Now I have the large. It's big boy. And what I need to make is the large container. Container L. Because I'm running out of room. And this needs 432 basic components, 250 hydraulics, and then 2 basic reinforced frame Ls. Now, if I've been as awesome as I think I could be on occasions, with a good backdraft, I should have the 2 frame Ls in here. No? In here? No? Where have they gone? Don't tell me that I've used them. Oh, no. What have I used them for? This may well completely destroy the stream. Well, the reinforced frame Ls, weren't they? Let's have a look. Just double check. Container. Container L. 2 basic reinforced frames. Basic reinforced frame Ls. So there. So what do I need for that? Steel. How long does it take to make? 18 minutes for 2. To make 1. So, yeah. And I need 2. But I'm actually going to make more of those because I need a couple of large containers. So let's make 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Let's make 10. You should have enough steel. More than enough steel. Okay, so I can't do what I was hoping to do on the stream because I will have to go for my tea. But oh, Discord messages. Right. So I need to make some of those reinforced frame Ls, but I do have the hydraulics. 250 I needed, and I've got that. So I'm going to need to make another 250 hydraulics, aren't I? Let's just make that 250. If I have some excess, I'm sure I'll use it for something. So for that, I need to make sure I've got steel and pipes. I'm going to run out of pipes, I think. Yeah, 224. How many pipes does it take? 4. Yeah, nowhere near enough. So now I need to be able to set up a container here that will feed that, because I unless I start moving over the entire factory now, which I'd rather not do until I've got the floor completed. I'd like to map out the process as best I can. Oh gosh, I haven't streamed for ages. There is another refiner which I have here, which you can also place. And refiner will go here. So the plan is that I have the refining parts here, and they feed into the next step of the process there, the next step of the process there, back this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, until they get to the assembly lines. Except I want the assembly lines to finish. Yeah, I don't want them to finish there. So, yeah, we're Idvold, we're not people who yell in the house either. We have the house next door to us is a holiday cottage, and it's incredible the differences in guests that we get. We get some guests that are just so quiet. I mean, we live in a very remote rural area, and we get some guests that are so quiet you wouldn't know they were there. And the guests we have at the moment are so incredibly noisy. It's painful. I think I'm going to start moving the process over. Maybe. So the Empire is it's the biggest guild. It's the largest organisation in the game by members. I think we have 1,200 members. I'm fairly new to the organisation. I don't have any formal role, but it is. And this sounds bad, but it's not. I'm one who generally kicks back against authority, but it's an autocracy, and we have an emperor, and he's put an incredible structure together for government, for military, for industry, commerce, etc. And we're building a city. So it's not my personal guild, but I'm an active member. I'm contributing a lot of the stuff that we've made for the city. A lot of the stuff. I have made an awful lot of stuff in my factory that's been handed over to the organisation for the city. I haven't seen the city yet. It's all being built hush hush because we're the biggest organisation in the game. We're also a target, so people want to take us down. I'm not military. I'm just an industrialist. So we are a target, and that's part of the fun. Yeah, it's part of the game. But the server wipe happened 2 weeks ago today, and we started rebuilding last Thursday. So we're a week in, and we're just about to move into the city. So what we've had is a temporary base where we've been running factories and making sure that sorry, had a coughing fit. We've been making sure that we've got all the processes and production running. I've been mostly present as a I guess you would call me a temporary resident or something like that. I don't know, but I'm wondering whether. So I don't. I'm not making anything in there at the moment. I'm not making anything in there at the moment, and I'm not making anything in there at the moment. No, I can't make any more signs. I'm wondering whether I could take this. We're welcoming all members. Let me give you a link to one of our officers gave me a link to our server. So this is a gateway server. Anyone's free to join and apply. If you mention that you saw my stream, then they'll know that it's been given out. So the chap who gave me the link is one of our administrators in the government side of the organisation. His name's Alarich, or Alarich. I'm going to have a coughing fit, excuse me. Oh God, excuse me. A terrible chest at the moment. If you join on that link and just say, got the link from Wasmatic's stream, and he will, they'll take it from there. So sorry, I got distracted. I've got messages coming in left, right, and centre because it's day one. So there's a lot happening. That's a static core. That is the next size down from that one, but hey, you've got to be ambitious, haven't you? So I was looking to take all of this stuff out and move this container across. Oh, there's more wood coming out. Oh, I can't move that. Shucks. Well, let's get rid of some of this. Yeah, so feel free to put an application in. Like I said, I'm not in any way, shape, or form an officer or administrator in the organisation, but they do know me. I'm an active member. The Emperor himself came into the stream earlier, which is quite an honour. And I think, you know, if you just say that you've been in the stream and you'd like to join, they're welcoming most members at the moment. And despite the fact that it is an autocracy, it's actually a very it's actually a really nice culture in the organisation. So if there was a problem with an abusive authority, I'd be the first one to be vocal about it. Excuse me, I'm going to have another coughing fit. I'm going to mute. I am really sorry about that. I'm having a really bad cough day at the moment. Okie dokie, so I need to just get one... If I can just get that out. No, I can't. Problems, problems, problems. This is why I need more containers. Right, is that going to come out now? Out you come. Come on, come on, come on. No. Dag nabbit. This is just using whatever space I can get my hands on now. There we go. Right. I need to go build mode and... No, hang on. Yeah, it's build mode and then place element and you hold Alt. Not enough storage. Of course not. I've got a territory unit inside my backpack. Right, will it go in there? Temporarily, yes it will. Let's try again. Right, that's going to stop the wood manufacturing as well. It's a bit of a pain, but... Okay, and we place the storage container like so. There we go. Let's put that there for now. This is the factory move that's going to take me forever, and you know what? It's only temporary as well, because I'm going to be moving again shortly, so... Okay. So... Oh, awesome. Yeah, good stuff. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just replying to Right, okay. You're at work. You're not UK then. It's 6 o'clock. Right, so what do I need to put in here? What I need to do is very quickly, because this is going to break if I don't do this, I need to connect that output to there, and then I need to grab this. Where did I put that TCU? I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm looking for the hydraulics. They can go in there. What am I doing that for? I don't need to do that. Oh, goodness, all fingers and thumbs now. There we go. So that goes in there. And what else did we need? Sorry, we needed basic components and the frames. And no, I've got the components. Pretty sure I made those. Basic components. Where are they? Oh, there we go. 319. I don't think that's enough. No, I need 432. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. The Big Apple. How's things there? I mean, we saw a lot of stuff on the news about lockdown being quite scary there. you back in? Are you in I've never been to New York, so forgive if I'm not using the correct terminology, but downtown or... Basic connector. No, that's not what I want. Component. Basic component. That's the one. Yeah. Just going to run that. Keep making them. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, my wife's been to New York and she loved it. I've never been. In fact, I've never actually been to the States. I've been to like South America, but into Asia, but I've never actually been to the US, and it's one of the places I've always wanted to go, really. I'd love to go and see places like Montana or Wyoming, or but also fascinated with like the place New England, places like that. Yeah. So, status at the moment is we are looking to build. Okay, so I'll tell you my plan, and then that plan will. You can tell me it's shit if you like. It's the same in the UK, mate. I mean, I'm able to stream today because I'm self-employed but furloughed, which means the government are paying me, so I can do this. But I've been at home for 5 months, and I have been reading. I've been doing yoga. I've been doing kettlebell workouts. I've been playing games, and I could really. Could really do with. I mean, I walk the dog. We live in a nice rural area. We have forests and fields all around us, but you know what? There's only so many times you can walk there every day before you think, I'd like to go somewhere else. So the plan is make a large container. The large container will be the first of many, and that large container. So bear with me here. Okay, so here's the plan. Large container sits over here-ish. Oh goodness. I mean, it's good. So as a self-employed individual, I have an issue that is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I'll do it on live stream anyway. In as much as I am self-employed and I am furloughed, and I'm a photographer and a filmmaker, and that I started doing only very recently in the last 2 or 3 years after quitting. I worked for an American company actually called Accenture for a long time, and quit the corporate world to do what I'm doing, and then COVID hit. And I was only just starting to get to a point where I could say I was generating a reasonable income. And the problem I have now is as things are starting to move slowly again, I have inquiries coming in for work, which I'm responding to with quotations. But financially, I'm actually more secure by staying furloughed and not taking these bit parts of work, because it's not enough. I'm actually going to end up financially more secure by staying furloughed, so more money in my pocket, which I don't like, but you know, my wife's still working. She's working from home. In my previous career, I could have kept working all the way through lockdown. I could have worked from home. I always did work from home. I was a home-based worker. So, but you know, yeah, strange world we live in at the moment. But why is it when I'm live streaming why does my phone and my watch and my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram start pinging at me like crazy? That's my wife. I shouldn't complain. Happy National Dog Day. One of my favourite photos taken by an extremely talented hubby, and it's a picture of our dog. Cool. So, where was I? I'm all over the place today. Large container, right? So large container is going to sit here. Okay. My thought process is that I work my way through from the front end of the process and get that as efficient as possible until I move through to the end. And then long-term projects done. So I have a large container here which feeds 3 refiners. I'm going to go back to my piece of paper now. 3 refiners feed into another large container. I actually could just have a hub. I could buy a hub, I guess, and put the small containers together. 3 refiners feeding a hub. That hub then subsequently feeds 3 smelters, 1 glass furnace, and 1 chemical industry. 2 of the smelters make metal. That's 4 smelters then. Two of the smelters for metal and 2 of the smelters for the electronic factory. The glass, the smelters, and the chemical industry all feed another large container and or hub. And this is where it gets really complicated. That large container will then feed 2 electronic factories, which will feed into containers, small containers, which will then feed into 2 more electronic factories, which are also fed by the original hub, which then subsequently feed into a final electronic factory. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electronic factories. 2 of those feeding into containers, which feed into other electronic factories, which feed into a final electronic factory, which feeds into another container. In there, feeding off, so the 2 electronic factories which feed from the large container and then feed into small containers, feeding from those small containers out to a 3D printer, 2 3D printers. I've got a lot of work to do. It's a good job I'm furloughed. So, where did we get to? We were looking at the components, which should be pumping out here. And we're looking at the frames, which are 18 minutes each. Have we got one yet? No. How far off are we? Missing output containers. Okay, I'll fix that for you. Oh, wrong factory, that's why. Here we go. That can go to there for now. Oh, no it can't. Why can that not go? All plugs are used. Can it go to that one? Alright. I guess you're going to go to that one then. This is like, it's a good job I'm moving because this factory's about to become an enormous mess. And I guess when I get this large container moving, it's going to take 90 minutes to finish. So, I know, wouldn't it be good if I was sensible enough to actually link that with that? There you go. Imagine the possibilities when you actually do things with a brain. The hydraulics we have enough of. We need 1 more frame and some more connectors before we can start that. And I do believe that's going to take 96 minutes to make. 96 minutes. Oh, I can't get up. I need to take a good run up. Ah, missed again. Can I go off the top of the berm? Forgot the double jump. That was stupid. Nope. Just not enough lift. Not enough lift. Oh, so close. Things you do while you're waiting for factories. This one. I can feel it in my water. No. Rubbish. Still can't get it. I must have cut away too much soil here. No, rubbish. That was about off here. Oh, that was a close one. I'm going to blame the lag. I'm so close. Just need to go a bit later, I think. Oh, man. I think the answer is that I can't get up there, isn't it? Let's be honest. So let's cheat. Use build mode and fly up. Okie dokie doggy daddy. I've just noticed that everyone who found this stream found it in YouTube. Nobody came to it from Twitch. I'm just going to check and see whether Twitch is actually running or not. I might do some more dad jokes tomorrow. Twitch. Maybe they're angry because I'm not streaming New World after I gave... Oh. What? Streaming online. Okay. I am. I am online on Twitch and I am streaming. That's weird. I have one person watching on... That's me. I'm not very good with all this newfangled technology. He says, oh, Asmongold, what are you doing there? Go away. Oh well, it's working. It's just testing it. Yeah, it's definitely working. Oh well, Twitch hates me. Screw you, Twitch. Amazon and whoever else. So we have more pipes to go into here. This is what I don't like doing, is the manual bit. I think that's enough. Is that enough pipes for now? How many do we need for a large container? 4 by 250, 1,000. We need more pipes then. And how are we doing for... That's doing pipes, that's doing the frames. So, this is where I could do with another metalwork thing, really, because I need that frame. There's 11 minutes left, but I need more pipes for the next. Doopy-doopy-doo. Right, I don't know if you're watching Mata, but I am on Sanctuary. This is the XS factory, and this is the new one which is in production. That's temporary. That assembly line there is temporary. Make the large containers, and this is the scale of it. So it is going to rock my world when I get this done. Oh, the geeking out I'm going to do on this factory is just immense. Look at that tiny thing there, that little baby. Look at that little baby. It's a good point, actually. Do I have any more wood? No, I don't. Because I'm getting a lot of lag. That's the output. The output's not missing. Honeycombed refinery to container S28. Container S28. Okay, so... And then that's the... Container S16. Which is... This one. No, sorry. It's this one over here. Container S16. Okay, so we are not making wood. That's going back through the process. We have carbon. We don't have oxygen again. Keep forgetting that. Definite lag. See how long that took? Right, if I put that in there, this thing should start spinning now. There you go. Yep, it's up and running. And that one's still running. No, it's not. I'm going to have to go mining. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of everything. Ah, that's why. More wood is good. Where do I need to finish off then? Ooh. Really? Have I got this much wood to go this far? Oh, just short by one set. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, hang on. Somebody's sending me a schematic of a factory. Done in Excel. Oh, that is very impressive. I am very impressed with that. Let's have a look. Steel, stainless steel, silicon, germanium. Basic metal complex. Oh, I see. Hang on. That's mighty impressive. Matter, if you're watching, that is really impressive. Bloody hell. But what I can't tell... Yeah, it's the detail that I mean, you know that, but you know what that looks like, but I can't see the detail. So where you've written 2 in, 3 out, for example, or 2 in, 2 out, you can only see 1 in. And are you? I don't know if you're watching. Are you linking factory to factory rather than going via container? You're just going straight through output to. No, you can't do that, can you? You couldn't do that. You have to have a container. There's my dickhead neighbour. That is very impressive. Can't see the early stage to it though. It's right. Sorry, stream. I'm getting distracted by organisation stuff, and I should focus. So I am going to let this. When this is finished, I'm going to take... He's still making hydraulics. I'm just going to... I think, do you know what? I think I'm just going to take the whole... I'm just going to move the whole factory. But I will take a break after the... after the next L frame is fitted, it's finished, sorry, I will take a break while this produces the large container. And then I need to seriously rethink my no, it's fine, mate. It's fine. I didn't know you were watching. Matter, I didn't know you were watching. Sorry, I was I was trying to work out in my head what I needed to... I was trying to look at your diagram, talk to the stream, and then work out in my head what I needed to finish to get the next large container out. I think all I'm going to do now is just focus on moving everything from here to there. I'm going to tear this down, pull the core up, and just have this instead. I'm not going to keep this one. Unless I just keep it purely for refinery, but you know, I can always rebuild it if I want to do that. I can sell the core to new players. But I'm so close to finishing this now. It's all good, don't worry. And the ammo factory, yeah, I will help when I can. I really do want to get this finished because this is my baby project. I need lots more wood. I could actually, do you know what? I could just tear down the old factory and use the remains from that, couldn't I? Move everything over temporarily. But I think I need to use something like yours, your diagram, and plan it out. I've actually just written it on a scrap of paper here, but it gets very complex, as your diagram has shown. And I keep checking my orders. Nobody's buying any fuel anymore. I can't work out why. It's the Kurgon X1 at District 4 Marketplace. So let's have a look. Kurgon X1. And let's go for District 4 Marketplace and see why my stuff isn't selling, because it should be. So mine's in at 195. Everyone, I always lowball my prices. Uh, 218, 226, 216. Yeah, I'm still undercutting by a large margin. But people will travel because look what they're getting, 3,000 there for 80. Look at the prices and Sanctuary Mood. You could shuffle there. You can literally travel for free to Sanctuary Moon to buy at 80. That's ridiculously cheap. People will pull the market down at that rate, but if you look, there's only a finite supply. So that's going to sell up, that's going to sell up, that's going to sell up, that's going to sell up. I mean, people will put stuff on, but I'm not far off. I tend to not, I'll lowball my prices, but I won't go that low. That's just, you're going to lose money there. You're not going to make anything back for your time investment. So 80 units per litre. And these things are hilarious. These uncommon LEDs were leftovers from when I made signs for the org, and I thought I'd put them on the market and see if they sell. Nobody's bought them. Edvold. Yeah, I mean that's kind of my situation now, is that I'm not making more money compared to when I'm in full-time employment and not furloughed, but it's a market where you can't just say, right, I'm back at work and the money flows in. You have to start building up your business again. Every booking that I had has been postponed apart from one, which is in October, and I suspect that that's going to get postponed as well. And so that could potentially see me not working through till 2021. Christmas is a very slow time. Even with the corporate work, it's pretty slow. Oh, thank you, Matter. I've seen the link. Boardduelthegame.com. Let me have a look. Industry Planning Simplified. Thank you. Let's have a look. Sorry, you do not have permission to view this content. Why not? That's weird. Let me try again. Sorry, somebody sent me a link to an industry planning tool, and is it on the forums? That's on the forums. No, it just tells me. Hang on, let me see if I can show you. No, not that. Ignore that. I'll just do window. Hang on. Window capture. There, can you see that? That's what it gives me. Just says that when I try and click on the link. It might, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. Sorry, Idfold. Well, I'm talking to an org member that sent me a link to a planner for industry. I'll Matter, I'll have a look at it and see if I can work it out later, because I just need to get this large container up and running, and then I will go and eat. Still taking too long. How long have you got? What? Oh, you're going over there now, aren't you? Okay, thank you. Right. And this might be enough. Chances are I'll be back later anyway, but there we go. And can this get me through to, is that enough? I think I'm just a couple of no, I can do it. Right, start, run, make one. How long? 96 minutes. Listen to it. It's the sound of industry. So, we have the large container up and running. Do you know what? I'm feeling inclined now to just start moving things across. Let's just do that. Anything that's not running anyway. Are you running? Yeah, you're running. You're producing wood. You're not running. So let's stop you. And I'm going to pick you up. Here we go, baby. And we will have a new refiner. Hello. Hello. I think it's my boss. Is that a boss lady? Hello, boss lady. It's the wife. It's Mrs. Was. Do you want to come and say hello? You have to do it in your. You have to do it in an accent. I don't know. You pick. I don't know. You pick. I'm just kidding. Where are you? Oh, there's a dog. Hello, dog. Where's Piggy Wiggy? Give me Piggy Wiggy. What are you doing? Give me that Piggy Wiggy. Yeah, dog's not right in the head. He ain't right. So we moved that refiner. This can finish making the wood, so I can. I'm just going to focus on making. I need more. Where's the wood? Where's the wood going? You're not working. You're not working. Great. Oh well. This is not going to get me anywhere near to finishing this. Gordon Bennett, look at that. Oh well. Okie dokie. So I think what I'm going to do is. No, I can't. How much carbon have I got left in there? Right, so that's still making wood. So let's leave that making wood for now. Because that's going to feed this honeycomb machine, which is making the aged brown pattern wood. So that's just waiting for some more wood to be put in from the... And that's going to drop into there, like that. And then when we have finished... Jarvis? You being a crazy dog? Give it to me. Give it to me. Sorry about this. My dog's a bit crazy. He's not right in the head, this one. It's a terrier. He's crazy. Right, yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, fine, you win. I give up. He's alright. Right, so, okay, so the plan is that makes the L container, then we move stuff across, and when you finish this floor, we'll leave the wood chugging away. And then when that's done, we'll move the rest of the factory. And then I can help Matter with his ammo production. Hopefully. Yeah, how much it just burns through these resources really fast, even though I'm not even putting them as like big thick chunks. It's a lot of resources. So that's running. That should be running. What's the problem here? Oxygen, you have everything you need. So I think when I come back later, I'll have to go mining. There is no avoiding it. I will need to gather some more resources, which isn't the most exciting content to stream, but it will at least give people a flavour. And I'm really pleased that from conversation on this stream that we've had, so many people say that they are interested in playing the game and joining the organisation, because at the end of the day, I think Nova Quark have been working away quietly on this game, and with a minimal amount of promotion and marketing activity, and I think they deserve now to get this publicity, because it's an amazing game and the future for it is quite stunning. And I think they've got it to a point, and I know there are a lot of fanboys out there who might hate me for saying this, I think they've got this game to a point where it's playable compared to other games like Star Citizen, which in my opinion it isn't. Great game, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm in deep backing Star Citizen. I've gone deep on that. A lot of ships and a couple of accounts, but why is this showing the game as satisfactory? This is not satisfactory. No, I want to change that. YouTube, you're being stupid. Stop being stupid. Yeah, so I'm genuinely pleased that Nova Quark are now in a position where they're getting some of this publicity for the game. Great to see people from all over the world playing it, and hopefully we will see more and more people joining the organisation and joining the game, because this game is going to thrive if it has more people in the community. The economy is going to flourish. So yeah, keen to see where the future goes. And at the moment, whilst I'm saying all of this, I'm trying to work out how to change the game category for my live stream, because I don't know if anyone watching this I don't know if anyone watching this actually streams using Restream, but Restream is a way to stream to multiple locations at the same time. So I stream to Twitch and to YouTube. And I don't know why, but this YouTube wants YouTube, even though I've set the game as dual universe in YouTube wants to stream it as satisfactory. Live stream settings. Let's see if that works. I mean, I don't need to do this now, but no, it's not letting me. It's not letting me change anything. So at the moment, this is being streamed as a game that it's not, and I can't change that. Ah, here we go. Huh. I can add tags apparently. No. Game title, Dual Universe. It's there. It's set. So why has it categorized me as satisfactory? This, I do not know. Any road up. So the summary is that over there is making the large container. This is making some more hydraulics for another large container. This is making another frame or 6, 8 for more large containers. They could go. Right, so I could actually link this now. I'm going to... Oh, stop it. I'm going to shift all this across. Oh, what are you doing now? No, I just changed this to the linked. Okay, we're seeing some bugs. I declare that as the linked container. Okay, I go back. Let's just check I'm not... No, I'm not selecting the linked container. I open this container. Oh, that's weird. It's all changed now. Ooh, freaky. I think this is making steel. Yep. We're out of iron. Can I smelt some more? Are you still going? You're still making wood. Right. I think there's no such thing as a halfway house. I am going to go and eat some food because it's 20 to 7 in the evening. I will be back later. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope that in some small way this stream has enabled you to make a decision as to whether you want to jump on board with Dual Universe, or if you're already on board with Dual Universe, to open up something you hadn't looked at before. I mean, there is so much in the game that I don't know everything. I will never know everything. I can only talk about the bits that I do know. So if that's helped enlighten some of you in some way, then that's great. And absolutely delighted to see that so many of you have decided to join the organisation. And I really hope that I get to see many of you in game, hopefully as colleagues in the Empire. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Idvold. Thank you, everyone. And I will see you, if not later, I'll see you tomorrow.